What is this? When this happened? Okay, let's start the games. Hello and welcome back, everyone. You are watching Instructive Chess, and today we are going to be playing some rapid games, and then we will try to get some blitz games as well. And in between, we will also try to have a look on the Esports World Cup, and we will try to watch out for some of the great games, which is going to be interesting. Let's see. Okay, who had joined the stream? I got late today because I was a little bit busy. This is problematic. Just hold on for a moment. Hello, good evening, everyone. It is taking longer than expected. Okay, I'm going to be starting a 5 plus 0 game. Let's go and hope for the best. Let's start with the move 1 e4. E5 is almost everybody goes for. Let's play bishop to d3. C5 is annoying. I can castle here, I guess. Let's pin the knight. He just pins. I can take, but this might be a problem. I can try to push this as well, but again, I don't feel that is going to be interesting. Let's take here and then recapture and bishop e3. I might be fine this way. Oh, I need to watch out for the chat. I'm really struggling for this. Let's improve the rook. Let's improve the rook. He's attacking the pawn here. We need to defend this. Hello, Leo. Hello, iPad. Harshit. Welcome to the stream, my brother. Let's go h3. Black position is very good, I guess. It doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't look good, too good for white. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't also look like good or bad. Hikaru lost against Danis. Really? Oh, he might be winning a pawn this way. Let's see how. Oh yeah, he's winning a pawn this way. He wants to play bishop takes, knight takes, and after rook takes, I will not be able to take that pawn as my bishop is going to be hanging. Okay, let me finish this game. Then I will try to look for the game which is taking place in the Sports World Cup. I think Magnus eliminated Nihal. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, Sam, welcome to the stream. You are pawn down, but I think you should be fine. I'm not a pawn down for the moment here. I can take and I can lose my rook in one move. So let's go for this. No, no, this. I don't know why he didn't take this pawn. But now he's capturing the pawn with the pawn. Why didn't I take that pawn like immediately? I'm so stupid. I should have gone for that pawn immediately. Bro, why the heck he didn't take the pawn? I don't know. Okay, now he's going for this pawn. What should I do? Oh, look here looks interesting to me. Let's go a3 with the idea of bishop b4. Oh, I got this move. And I'm losing the pawn with an attack on the rook and yeah, immediately getting punished for this mistake. So I'm gonna be losing this game. I know. Let's go for a7 at least. But this pawn might get through. It is going to be a very tough game for us. Hello Santa, welcome to the stream. I first time saw how tall Magnus is compared to Nihal. Yeah. I saw that video as well. Literally, how tall Magnus is. Okay, at least we have some pressure on that a7 pawn. Bishop c5 is not an option as we can simply take that. And if he goes for bishop to b2, then we have rook takes a7. Our rook is going to be active on the 7th. Let's go for this one. But now he's attacking this. I can take this, right? But he can pin that. But then I will be able to defend that knight with the pawn. For the moment, we are up the pawn. We are up a pawn. Oh, I got that move. Bishop c5 was better. But here I might be fine. Yeah, he will get the pawn back, but I will have the bishop. We will have the full control over the a5. And we can even play the move bishop to h6 to take control of that diagonal and then rook a8. Now it looks good for me. I don't think we are bad. And we are also up on clocks. So we can try to use our clock. If we can melt more of his time somehow, like 1 more minute, then we might. Oh, but he's sacrificing the exchange. Because he will get the exchange back. Wow, that's crazy. Hell of a move. And let's try this. He will take this one. And the question is, can I take this? No, I will just recapture. I need to take this one. And position is again equal. Let's go here. Now we are threatening this move. Black idea it will be to attack the pawn, but attacking the g2 pawn is going to be very hard because this is a dark square. Let's play rook to a7, and our bishop is a beast here. Black is passive. In the meanwhile, we need to like involve our king into the attack somehow. And my mouse is doing its job. You can see that. Okay, let's try to involve the king somehow. Just don't need to like damage anything. We need to grind this endgame for one more minute. This is completely equal and might be interesting. Let's go here. He goes back. He's never leaving the back range, I guess. Oh, I have an idea. Let's try to involve the king, but still the bishop is defending. Pretty sure I'm not getting checkmated here. He got only 50 seconds. There is this check, but I can advance the king. Let's go with the pawn. Yeah, no. You got this check. I have king to d4. And now he has only 30 seconds. This is a threat again. He has to go back. That's the only one. Dead draw. But we might be winning because of the time. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now Rook can use the G file. Now Rook can use the G file. He's going to throw a check, probably. Okay, I need to go here. I need to keep that bishop defended on a dash square. Oh, I'm the one who is down 2 pawns. What the heck is wrong? We are winning the game anyway on time. But somehow he managed to collect all of my pawns. But why the heck he's not losing on time? Finally he lost, man. Finally he lost on time. It is winning even if opponent had 2 minutes because your king and pawns are active, so it's not a dead draw. How did you lost all of your pawns? I don't know. And how crazy it is. Computer thinks it is like drawable. It is just 0.8 in favor of black. Kind of crazy things. But we got a nice win. We got a nice win. And what is going on in the esports World Cup? What is going on there? Let's see. Hmm. Okay, Alidija versus Magnus is going to take place. It will be set one, but when the game will be started, Dennis versus Hikaru is going on. Okay, let's see this game. I think I need to fix the visual for you guys, which is kind of very awkward thing. I just need to fix the visuals for every game. Now you can see the board, I guess. Yeah. Okay, wait. Buckle up, everyone. Sit back and get relaxed. It's Hikaru Nakamura versus Denis Lazovic, and we are watching the game with White's perspective. And Grandmaster Denis Lazovic had just played the move queen to b2. Okay, Hikaru trade the rook. Rook takes back. Rook a8. There might be another trade on the a file, and then it is going to be like queen and knight endgame, which is one of the like hardest endgame ever to be in. But Hikaru is so resourceful as Dennis is so tricky as well. Hikaru might trade this as well, and then but White will get the A file. Wow, this is the colonial move where you move a piece on a square where it is defended by a pawn. And of course, if White takes, Black recaptures with the pawn, and then Black will have the outside passer, which will be very hard to deal with. So you're in kind of dilemma. So whether should you take or you should just ignore this. Maybe Dennis can play the move rook to b2, sorry, rook to b1 to have some pressure on that b6 pawn and take control of that b5 square as well. Hikaru decided to take on c5. Now again, look, Hikaru has the sorry, Danish takes on c5. My bad. Now again, Hikaru has the option of eliminating this rook with check, and after queen takes back, then either Hikaru can take back with the knight, the queen, and the pawn as well. Taking with the pawn will be good as it will connect these two pawns in the center of the board. By the way, both the players are playing with like 99% accuracy, which is really crazy. Okay, Hikaru is down to 4 minutes 45 seconds. Dennis has some upper edge on the clock with 5 minutes 28 seconds. This is going to be fun. I'm quite interesting about Hikaru's thought process. Of course, he's thinking about should I trade the rook and or not, or should I just recapture the? Of course, you can't take here with the pawn as your rook will be undefended. So if Hikaru wants to take the pawn, either he has to go for the knight or the queen. Hikaru has these two options, and other alternative is just to eliminate this rook with check. And after queen takes a1, Hikaru might recapture with the pawn to connect the pawns here. 99% accuracy is very normal for Hikaru. Of course, for all these super GMs. Of course, for all these super GMs. But it is concerning for Hikaru as he is taking a long thing. Now he is down to 3 minutes 50 seconds. Hikaru might be in trouble on the clock as I think it is just 10 plus 0. There is no increment in the game. So if you just think too much in these kind of situations, you might be in trouble. But of course, we know that if there is anyone rather than Magnus, who is like a speed monster, of course that is Hikaru. Now knight d4 is one of the move, and it goes for takes the queen f6 is a blunder. But why? I think it allowed this check. Yeah, it allowed this check king h7, and he takes the pawn. Wow. Queen g6 now with the idea of he's still defending the pawn, and maybe this knight can read out. But if you go knight to e6, then white simply recapture. And now white is up a pawn. Then is going to have an upper edge here, guys. Yeah, it is heavily pawn for white, and the b6 pawn is of course a weakness, which can be like very problematic for Hikaru. But of course, we all know that Hikaru is so resourceful. He is capable of finding the resource in like every situation. So it is going to be fun now. Now Dennis is taking a long thing here, and computer is suggesting one of the moves which is just to play c4, wait for black to see what he's going to do. But finding the move like c4 is very incredibly hard in these kind of situations where you just have to be calm, like, and your king is oh he finds this, let's go. Dennis finds c4. That's crazy. Dennis finds c4, man. Now it is up to Hikaru how he's going to handle his situation. Knight to e4. Maybe some of the ideas related to knight g5 and then knight takes h3 check as queen is spinning the pawn on the g file. In the meanwhile, Dennis will try to activate his knight, but that's a blunder, I think, because it allows whether knight to f6 is one of the more, but knight f6 drops the pawn. Sorry, leaves the pawn there. Oh, knight f6 he goes for, but I think there is queen c6 now, attacking the pawn. Okay, he goes for queen to d1. I don't even know what is the idea. Maybe trying to keep an eye on these diagonals. That's why I think knight g5 was better with the idea of knight takes s3 check. But Hikaru misses that, and again white is better. It's plus 1.4. Hello Shadow. Hello, welcome to the stream. Knight goes back to e4 again. Maybe the idea is to just get knight to g5. Now Dennis spins that knight, and if you are playing knight g5 now, then white is going to be winning the game, as your b6 pawn will fall easily, and then c pawn will just march up the board. Hikaru with 2 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. Dennis with almost 4 minutes on the clock. Hikaru really has to be very careful here if he wants to save this game. Now you can't move the knight. Maybe you can try to play the move f5 just to solidify the knight, but then your king can be soft, and f5 pawn itself can be a weakness in the future. And don't forget that Dennis is now up 2 minutes on the clock. Dennis has 3 minutes 56 seconds. Hikaru does go for like Hikaru did go for f5, so it find the knight, and now again the idea is to play knight g5, knight takes s3. Knight goes back, queen f6 immediately, trying to take control of the diagonal here, and maybe just defending the pawn in this way. Queen b3 is one of the moves here just to keep an eye on that pawn. It is going to be fun. Hikaru has only 2 minutes 6 seconds, where Dennis has 3 minutes 25 seconds, almost 1.5 minutes. G4. Wow, look at that move. King to G2. Now we are going to watch out for some speed chess, guys. Of course, Black can't take this pawn because then you drop the knight on E4. He plays top in Zanu. Yeah, that's the thing about super GMs. But now you will see that accuracy will get stopped down as both players are getting low on time, but still they are well above like 95. Dennis with 95% accuracy, where Ricardo has 93.2% accuracy. And of course, White has an upper edge. White is up a pawn, and White strike with the move c5. The idea was to treat the pawn, but now Black might be fine as the accuracy is sorry, as the evil bar is going down. It is not completely winning for White, but still White has some edge. 0.7 is the advantage for Dennis. Edge takes g5. Look at that move. S5, just trying to chip up with the pawn and making this king a little bit vulnerable. But still now White has completely winning. But that move was this is wrong move. The only move was just G takes S5. Black King is also going to be weak. And your knight can access the F5 square with the help of Queen somehow, supporting the fifth rank there. But now the situation has been changed. King is on the back rank. Still White has some upper edge. It's plus 1.1. Dennis might convert this game, but again, don't forget the capability of Hikaru. He's like so resourceful in every situation. Wasn't Queen H2 a winning too? Okay, we don't have Queen to C4. Is an inaccurate move. Queen G6 check was the way to go. Maybe to someone try to attack, but now Hikaru has some checks. He can use Queen to B1 now. Queen B1 check. Wow, King goes back. Queen goes back. But still, White has some upper edge. It's plus one already. But it is up to him. It is up to like Hikaru. One bad move and game can slip away in a flash. Hikaru has to be very resourceful and very accurate though. Now the move is h4. h4. Again with each move, the advantage is growing up for Dennis. Buckle up guys, it is going to be now fun. Now White is completely winning, it's plus 2. And the only move for Black to be in the game is like Queen to f6 or Queen to c2. He goes for Queen b6 now. It is almost plus 3 for White. Knight e4 is begging to be played with the idea of controlling these squares. King goes to f3. Again, fine, but now the evil is going down. Queen f6. Again, knight e4 now comes with an attack on the queen, and that's the losing move. It allows this nasty check. Queen e6 check. Queen e6 check followed by maybe knight to g5 is winning. But no, he just takes and twice takes. Okay, now the idea is to attack s5 maybe. And queen does not have a safe square. My queen z4 is not an option. He just takes and wins a pawn here. Queen goes back. Now knight takes h5. So knight f5 check is even better. Knight f5 check is he goes for knight takes h5. It is still winning. It is still winning. Queen to g6. Queen to g6. Oh, he misses that. That's a blunder. It allows this check. Oh my god. Dennis might have to face some enough like counter play. Now that is like so many perpetual check. King f2 is the only move. King f2, queen d2. It is a draw now. Oh my god. Complete chaos on the board. It is going to be a draw. It is already 0. Wow. King goes to e4 now, but black has so many counter play in the form of perpetual check. Queen b2 check. Queen d2 check. White is not finding a safe house for his king now. White is not finding a safe house. If you goes here, just queen c2 check. Maybe king if he's just marching the king. Maybe the idea is to get in with the king. But again, your king is going to be wide in the open. Yeah, you are not hiding with check. Yeah, that's the Quality of Hikaru. He is always resourceful. One bad move and you can completely slip away your game. It is just a dead draw now. Queen to a5 check. Queen a7 check is also the way to go. And now knight is doing a great job controlling these squares. And now Hikaru just grabs a pawn here. Look at that craziness on the board. Wow, now Hikaru is allowing some nasty checks. But there is nothing, it is just going to be a draw. And game gets finished, I guess. No, still going. Hikaru with 20 seconds, Dennis with 17 seconds. There is no increment. White is still up a pawn. Look at that move. Wow, Hikaru with the brilliant queen sack. Setting up stalemate. Wow, that's crazy. Queen to f5. King takes and now black has no legal move. Wow. What the hell of a game it was. And both players have the accuracy of 91%. That's crazy. Wow, that's why I said Hikaru is like so resourceful in any kind of situation. And he manages to save this incredibly hard end game with queen and knights on the board. Wow, look at that. First of all, look at that, how crazy it is just to capture a pawn here. If you give this position to anyone, everybody will try to find some checks. But there are no checks. White king is kind of safe here. And Hikaru calmly grabs a pawn on c3, sorry, e3. And Hikaru allows some nasty check on his king itself. Wow, man. And Hikaru loses the knight as well in the process. But again, sacrificing the queen first on c5. If you takes, again, your king does not have any legal move. And everything with 20 seconds on the clock. Complete madness. Not only he sacked the queen once, he sacked the queens again. Queen c7. That's how crazy it is. Queen to e, king to e2. Now comes queen takes d7. Sacrificing the queen third time in a row. Again, Dennis declines with some hope on the clock. King goes to f6 and now black plays the move queen to f5 and forces the queens off the board. And now if you are moving the queen, then he can take or he can just, he can throw another check. But Dennis decided to take the queen finally and game ended in a draw because of stalemate. As king is in the corner and queen is controlling the all escaping square. Wow. Complete mind-boggling game, man. Okay, let's head out for the another one. Let's head out for the another one. Let's see. Again, Hikaru with the white pieces and Dennis with the black pieces this time. And we are watching the English opening. So again, you might see the bloodbath on the board, guys. Watch Ali Reza. Okay, the game is in the opening phase, so we will get back to this game once it gets to the mid game or in the Nihal versus Magnus gets decided. Hans versus Ali Reza. Oh, I think the game have been finished in Hans versus Ali Reza. Ali Reza won with 2-5, 2.5 versus 1.5. Yeah, there are no games for like Ali Reza. I'm not seeing that. Oh, okay. I think it is going to be the bracket in where Magnus will play against GM Ali Reza. Yeah, I don't think we have any game for Ali Reza. And the only game which are going on is Hikaru versus Dennis. Yeah, only the game is going on between Hikaru and Dennis. Again, if you guys are enjoying the stream and the game, you can hit that like button. Make it to the 20 likes. Okay, A3 here just to make sure B4 is not coming too soon. Good commentary, Dil. Thank you very much, Sam. I truly appreciate your compliment. And let's see. Bishop to E6. Black has finished the development, but the pawn on B5 might seem it is weak. But black had some way to just defend. Rook B8 defends the pawn, and the situation is equal on the board. Both players has equal time. Maybe white can try to execute D4, but of course you don't want to rush with the move D4 because then you can allow the bishop to be on C4. If you go d4, bishop c4 might be annoying for you as it will control the diagonal. By the way, how can I see the score, guys? What is the score? Huh? What is the score? I'm not seeing the score. Can anybody help me with that? Huh? That's why Hikaru is legend. Yeah, that's why Hikaru is legend. I mean, he is one of the best defensive player in the history of chess. In the history of chess. Okay, Hikaru is thinking again. Hikaru is getting low on time. He's already 1 minute below. Bishop to e3. Hikaru finished the development, controlling the diagonal here, and maybe now he will try to execute d4. But still, as I have said this before, you might allow bishop c4, which you don't want to face. Bishop on c4 not only defend the pawn, but of course it will control this beautiful diagonal as well. And of course, if you are pushing d4 too early, then e4 might fall as well. Okay, Hikaru strikes back with d5, and now if he captures, Hikaru is going to defend the pawn on e4, and then d5 will be open up, and Hikaru might use the file to attack the queen there. Okay, again, let's hope for another bloodbath on the game. It will be fun once the players get below to like 4 minutes. They had like some handful of time on the clock. Both players had 7 minutes 50 seconds around, so it is kind of like calm, slow games. But now Dennis is attacking the pawn on a3. If Hikaru doesn't defend this, Dennis is like, if you are giving me something, I'm gonna grab this. I'm not going to leave that pawn on a3. When Hikaru finished the development, then Hikaru saw that Y is legend. Yeah, let's see. Hikaru goes a4, just trying to get rid of that weakness and inviting a trade on a4, and maybe surrendering the b file, but not too early. Other rook is defending this as well. Maybe black can go for rook a8, attacking the queen, but you can drop the knight on c6. Queen goes back to d7 in order to defend this. And in case you are wondering, knight takes e5 is not a possibility. Knight is still defending the pawn. And maybe Hikaru can go for like e takes d5, but then again, knight joins the game with knight takes d5, and then knight takes c3 will be a threat with a fork. Okay, bishop c5 might be the move to take control of the diagonal, but I don't think bishop c5 achieved too much. But still, it looks a good move. Maybe Hikaru is thinking about trading the rook on the b file. But if you are trading the rook, then you are giving the b file for the black pieces, as you don't have the control over b1 square. Okay, Hikaru need to improve the position. Even what is thinking it's completely zero. Let's see what is going to be happening. Again, Hikaru is 1 minute down on clock. He has only 6 minutes 20 seconds. And this is the moment, guys. This is the moment where Hikaru is kind of going into the wrong direction. He is making some series of inaccurate move, but still at the end he is finding some resource. Again, Dennis has to be careful. He got the completely winning position in the last game, but one bad move and game gets slipped away. So Dennis might be like very, very, very careful in this game. But Hikaru with the white pieces, and he's probably calculating some line. The best move is rook takes b8. Just trade one pair of rook and try to get this rook onto the a file, and then you can try to occupy the a file with queen a7. Was this knight move? Let's see. The second top computer move is just to play rook b to a1, and third is just e takes d5. So these are the candidate moves, but let's see what is Hikaru going to be opting for. Sometimes Hikaru playing slow and sometimes very, very fast. Yeah, that is the thing about Hikaru. He might give you like full a false sense of security that Hikaru is out of the move. We don't know how to play, but that kind of like backfired on you. If you just think like Hikaru is out of the move and you play like one random move and Hikaru is really going to take over the game in a couple of moves. So these are the some psychological nuances to the chess game which Super Grandmaster use. Sometimes they know what is the right plan, but they still think for sometimes to give a false sense of security to the opponent. Time pressure, obviously, yeah, but still now Hikaru is below 5 minutes. He has only 4 minutes 40 seconds. So he might be in trouble. Dennis has upper hand on the clock. Dennis has almost 8 minutes on the clock, 7 minutes 30 seconds, almost 3 minutes above on the clock. That might be the difference in this game. That might be the difference. But don't forget the capability of Hikaru. We have just seen that in the last game. So we might be watching another a hell of the end game. Buckle up, guys. Sit back and relax. This is Dilkil Chess, and we are watching two giants of the game, Hikaru Nakamura and Grandmaster Denis Lajovic from Russia. Okay, Hikaru takes on d5, which is one of the best moves. And now the best is, I think, knight takes. He takes back with the bishop. Again, with some pressure on this diagonal. But again, Dennis is moving so quickly. He's just literally not thinking. Where Hikaru is down to 4 minutes. 3 minutes 50 seconds is not a lot of time. Hikaru decided to trade the rook. And now Queen goes back with some ideas of defending the knight and maybe knight to h4. And sometimes Queen can join the attack on the king side. For the moment, Black Knight is controlling these two important squares, so Queen might not get in. But still, there can be some idea. Black goes back with the rook, with some ideas of pressuring the d file. D3 pawn is a backward pawn. You can't really achieve d4 easily because then you allow e file for the black pieces. Queen to e2. Maybe getting off of the d file, you never know what is going to happen in the end game. And again, now it is up to black what he's going to play. Maybe just bishop can go back and then queen can try to attack the pawn on d3. Of course, white will respond with rook b1, but still bishop e6 is one of the move. Okay, goes for. Now the queen is attacking the pawn. Hikaru advances with d4. Black can actually play e4 to attack the knight. But then knight d2 with an attack on the pawn itself. Yeah, e4 might be the bad move because you can allow knight d2, which will attack the pawn, and white will have these healthy pawn in the center of the board. Okay, Dennis is thinking Hikaru don't care about clock, but still you can't literally give the upper edge on the clock for like every single game. At the end, Hikaru is also a human. Hikaru is also a human, right? Okay, Dennis is thinking. Black has the option of playing the bishop takes h3, but white decided takes on d4. Okay, black takes on d4, white recaptures. Oh, it is kind of surprising that black didn't go for this. Maybe the knight was hanging. That's the idea, but now black is offering a bishop trade. Of course, Hikaru would decline this because you don't want to trade the bishop, but Hikaru does not have a lot of options here. You really don't want to play bishop f1 here, and then black bishop might be very active on this diagonal. And taking the bishop doesn't seem good. The best move is knight back to f3, but white decided to capture on c6 now. Hikaru can takes on g2, king takes g2, and then queen takes c6 will be the option. And Hikaru can simply recaptures the knight as well. Okay, Hikaru is attacking. Sorry, Dennis. Hikaru is attacking the rook. Okay, Hikaru. Sorry, Dennis takes on c6. It's my bad. Now Hikaru is attacking that bishop. So I don't. Ah man, why am I just keep saying like Hikaru is playing with the black pieces? It's Dennis. Okay, Dennis pins the bishop. Now you can't take this. Ah, Hikaru pins the bishop. Ah, my bad. Dennis rook is undefended. Okay, rook to d7. Now the knight is defending the rook, so the option of bishop is g2 is available for black. And Hikaru might trade the bishop now because now that is not a good move. Okay, he takes. Queen takes is not an option. Rook takes maybe the move. Knight takes d5 looks interesting. Attacking the bishop and keeping an eye on the pawn as well. Okay, I think we are going to head for another interesting endgame where material is going to be equal. It is going to be bishops against knight. Bishop d4 is one of the move now. Just keep that bishop on d4 where it will defend the pawn, and the bishop is going to do the offensive job as well on the diagonal. Again, I think now white position is much better, but still black has to be careful. As long as this knight is on f6, you can't try to go for the checkmate. And here, of course, you can't take the knight as you are going to lose the rook with check. Queen is also keeping a rook a1. Maybe the idea of getting to the back rank. Okay, queen takes s3. Yeah, black has to be brave. Just go for queen takes s3. The pawn is undefended. Position is still equal. It might be ending in a draw. But again, Dennis is like so calm in these kind of situations. If you are giving a pawn to him, he's like, yeah, I'm going to capture that pawn. I'm not going to leave that pawn for free. If you are giving it, I'm just going to take the risk. But here, Dennis has just slip away the last game, so he might be very careful. He can ignore, but of course, the top instant move is queen takes s3. I'm excited for the Sunday Arena, even though I'm not going to get third and get gold membership, but fingers crossed. Okay, it will be fun. It will be fun. Okay, it did go for bishop takes, queen takes s3, bishop takes f6 now, damaging the pawn structure for the black king, and black king might feel some troublesome. But still, I think black king is safe, but the diagonal is weak. Now the queen to e4 move might be a threat, attacking the rook as well. Okay, black has to be careful. C7 pawn is not a good pawn as well. So does the C3 pawn. Okay, white goes for this. Queen goes back, and now it is completely a dead draw. It might be ending a draw because black has these double pawns. But still, anything can happen. Hikaru has 2 minutes, Dennis has 4 minutes. But it might be a draw because it is just a rook endgame. Down to pawn. And of course, black has these double pawns, which is not a great thing to have. But a pawn is a pawn. Anything can happen in the time table. Don't forget, there is no increment in the game. It is just a sudden death game. If you lose on time, you lose. There is no increment. And Hikaru is still low on clock. Hikaru had only 2 minutes 10 seconds, where Dennis has 3 minutes 40 seconds. Rook goes back to defend the pawn. Hikaru can throw this check, but that doesn't achieve anything because of king c5. And Hikaru is not getting the king onto this side of the board now. That means black king is going to be active. If black gets the king to f3, f2 pawn might be in trouble. Yeah, black has the great construction. Black rook is defending everything. Black rook is cutting the king as well. And now black has some of the simple idea. But now if you go king z5, then white can throw this check and you have to go back. Okay, black is trying to use this pawn as a decoy, just trying to create weaknesses, giving itself. But now king to f5. Okay, I don't even know what is the idea of f6 to be honest. King f6, king takes f4, king f5, king takes f4 might be the move. Yeah, king f5 is no brainer. I don't know why Dennis is thinking because there is literally no rook g5. Yeah, king f5 trying to attack the pawn. Maybe Dennis is worried about rook to s8. Yeah, he goes, but now king z4. Oh, that's a completely losing move. You are going to lose both of the pawns. Both of the pawns. And this pawn is marching down. Your king is cut off. Black is completely winning. Hikaru might slip up with this game as well. You are not going to attack this pawn so easily. And look at the black rook doing a great job defending the pawn and cutting off the white king. You can try to throw in some checks, but I'm pretty sure that black can use the bridge method at some moment. King goes to g6, g3. You have this check, but then king f2, and you will have no check. You will move the rook, and then pawn gets to f4, f3. Wow. It is +6. Almost +6 for Dennis. Dennis might be winning the game. Hikaru is thinking. Hikaru has only 1 minute on the clock. Yeah, it is never too late to blunder, even if you are Hikaru. It is not too late to defend, or sorry, blunder. There is only one check. Rook g1, king f2. There are no checks. f4 is coming, and after Hikaru resigns, black wins. Wow, Hikaru is down to this game. That's crazy. Dennis is now taking over Hikaru. He has 3.5 points, where Hikaru has only 1.5 points. It might be the difference. This game might be the difference. This game was key for Hikaru. One blunder and you know the difference. One blunder and you know the difference. My bad. Let me just show you that moment where it was all fine. But yeah, it is just a dead draw to this moment. But black is already a little bit better. Rook h8, great move, attacking the pawn on h5. King goes to g4. And now Hikaru tries to force the things off with the move f3 check. But he completely forgot that Hikaru is going to lose both of these pawns. And his king is cut off. That is the key difference. That is the key difference. Dennis takes on f3, Hikaru takes on h5, and now king takes f4. There is nothing more to be done. This rook is completely a beast. Defending the pawn, cutting off the e file, and with the help of king, the pawn is just getting down to the board. That's all. Then is the meanest. Yeah, guys. Let's go back and let's see some other games. Let's see. I think it was the last game, or there are going to be other games. It was the last game. I don't know the matchup exactly. I don't know how many games they are going to be playing. So if you guys have the answer to this question, you can help me. What is going to happen next now? Scorecard is Hikaru 1.5 and Dennis 3.5. So we might be watching for Hans versus. Sorry, Hans gets eliminated by Alireza. That means we are going to be watching Alireza versus Magnus. And then who is going to play against Dennis then? If Hikaru is eliminated. Huh? Anyone? Hikaru lost. Yeah, Hikaru lost. Now Firuza versus Magnus. Okay, so now we are going to be watching Firuza versus Magnus. But who will play against Dennis then? Who will play against Dennis? That's the question. That's the question. Nihal? Ah, Nihal got eliminated by Magnus. Oh, I think it was the matchup for third place. It was the matchup for third place. That means Dennis is going to take on Nihal Sari. Nihal got eliminated though. I don't have the exact answer to this question. If you guys can help me with that, that will be great. Uh, I can see that there is going to be a Magnus versus Alireza game. And in the second bracket, you can see it was Hikaru versus Dennis. Hikaru got eliminated. Dennis won over Hikaru, and Magnus won over Nihal. Alireza won against Hans. Hikaru won against Arjun and Gaisi. Okay, I don't actually know. We'll play Dennis. It's over. Dennis in final. Dennis is in final. Aha. That means Hikaru versus Dennis was the semi-final game, and Alireza versus Magnus is going to be the second semi-final game. Am I right? Yeah, yeah. I think now I see the. I see it was set one. That means we are going to watch out for set two. Sorry, it is also a set one game. That means we will be watching semi-final two. Yeah, and winner of the Alireza versus Magnus will play against Dennis. Can you believe that, guys? Wow, how many monsters gets eliminated by Dennis Lazarev, who is like literally 18 to 19 years old? Wow, Dennis eliminated Nordjobek Abdusattorov. Wow, man, that's crazy. And Dennis literally eliminated Hikaru, one of the speed monster. Okay, it is going to be fun. Hikaru versus Alireza. Sorry, my bad. Magnus versus Alireza. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Magnus. Yeah, bro is destroying super GMs. Yeah. Winner from Firuza and Magnus will play against Dennis in final. Wow, that's great. Thank you, Not. Thank you very much for your input. Now we get to wait for grand finals. But I think we can see the second semi-final. Is it going to take place today or tomorrow? I think it will be playing today itself. Am I right or wrong? Age doesn't matter in chess. Some kids are GM at the age of 11. Yeah, that's true, but still, just see the influence over the game. Yeah, I think it will be the second semi-final, but I think it will be taking some time. So let's go back. Let's play some chess on our own, and let's try to lose. Let's try to lose and take some lessons. I'm plus zero. I'm gonna start with 1e4. I'm doing great, Arnav. What about you? Okay, we are facing the Sicilian. And what was the commentary, guys? It was like my first or second times commentating some GM games. I tried my best. If there is something to be improved, you guys can tell me in the comment section. Not many 11 years old GMs are beating Hikaru. Yeah. For third and first will be tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, yeah. For third place and first place, the game will take place on like 15th of August. What if Dennis versus Firuza? It will be too fun. But Magnus has admitted that one of the best speed player in the world is Firuza, and he really wants to have a fight in the finals against Firuza. But that is not going to be happening Magnus has to take on Firuza in the semi-final. That means there are going to be chances when you can see Dennis versus Firuza, and then it will be like new generation taking over the giants. Last year final. Okay, last year final was I think Firuza versus Magnus, if I'm not wrong. Firuza versus Magnus, where Magnus won. Challenge Goofy Zen and beat him. I will try later. What is going on? Okay, he played bishop e7. Let's go to e1. Black knight castle. Okay, castle h3 here. Now the idea is to bring this bishop out. They changed the format. I don't think so. Okay, let's bring the knight out here with dance challenge. Yes, random topic picker. Hello, welcome to the stream, my bro. Knight f1, knight g3 is the idea for me now. Rook d8 with the idea of aligning with the queen. Okay, let's try to get this knight on the attacking post. Let's go bishop to b3. I don't want to be in the situation where it can be a problem here. Knight to h5, attacking the bishop. Should I stack this? I don't think we are getting great thing there. Let's try to get another knight as well. Trying to create some weaknesses here so that we can try to sack the bishop later on the game. Last year, there were certain time for each format, like 1 plus 0, 3 plus 0, and 10 plus 0. And what is the format this time? Today, I had my first brilliance and ended up losing on time low. Wow, he's not doing anything. Queen f3 looks interesting to me. What about this? King takes, and I don't have queen plus 5. This. Let's try to get the queen in. I'm not worried about this. I'm also unpinning my pawn here. Oh, he attacks and defends. Wow, that's crazy. And this is also hanging now. And these guys are like so resourceful. Okay, if he take, can I sack the bishop on e6? F8, knight takes e6. Oh, he goes for this. For what? So I take back with the pawn. Bishop d3. Knight d3. Rook b1, defending the pawn there. E4 might be hanging in some lines. Okay, finally he goes for this. I need to go back. This side doesn't achieve too much here. Let's go for this. Oh, now the pawn is hanging here. Wow, that was the idea. This guy is so resourceful. He is not letting over the game. That means I need to give this up. But even though how I'm going to defend this pawn, it's not so easy. Okay, I'm going to sack this rook because the knight is a beast here. He can simply go for knight takes b2 as well. Then I will play this. No, knight is going to control this. Take my rook. Go ahead. What will happen? I will lose the game as maximum. Nothing much. He might not take. He did take that rook. This year format 6 rapid games. Oh, are you playing with the viewers? I'm not playing with the viewers, but if you're interested, you can send me the challenge. Oh, now he's attacking the queen. He's literally taking over, guys. I don't want to trade so many pieces because he's literally up an exchange. Look at that beautiful move. He got other knight to this square. How crazy this is! I think we are losing this one. Yeah, he's just finding all the key resources to win the game. Any miracle can save us. Let's go for some miracles. I can get a pawn back here if he ignores my bishop, but I think he will take this. Either he will take or either he will go for e5. Bishop takes f4, queen takes f4. You had queen takes c4, you missed. Yeah, that's true. Okay, not a big deal. Let's try to have some miracle. Okay, he's taking a long time, which is going to be good. How long you been playing chess for? I'm playing chess from last 3 years. He declines. Okay, he's giving us the option of taking the pawn, but then e5 is going to be a problem, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I takes, and then I recapture. I got knight to e2 here. Knight h4, h5 is also there. No, knight h5 looks good. Attacks the queen and attacks this pawn as well. I need to be very, very careful. He is going to attack on f2. He can take this pawn, I guess. But then, okay, should I just grab this? Should I just grab this, guys? What do you think about this? But if I'm taking here, then bishop takes will be a problem for me. If I'm going for this, then this is going to be a problem. Let's take this first. And now can I go for this? Oh, he takes that in between. He plays this in between move. I think I should grab the pawn here. Bishop will be hanging. Yeah, let's grab the pawn. Bishop f6, you don't want to play. Bishop e5 can be played though. Yeah, bishop e5 might be the move here. Then maybe this bishop is like in no man's land. Oh, he's sad. King, I got king takes. My queen is still defending that. I have this move. Oh, we are losing that knight. Crazy. Tactics, bro. Tactics. Tactics. White is like, white is almost 2100 for a reason. Okay, he connects the pawn as well. It is now lost. He will take this. Any hope of surviving this? Certainly no. But still, let's try to use our tricky piece. Knight to c6 might be the problem. Knight e5, knight c6. He got only 30 seconds. We might have some edge on the clock. Let's try. Don't lose hope. Knight e5. We got this check. Still go for this. There is no check. Knight c6 is an idea. Maybe I can play king f4, g4. Let's go here. Knight to c6. Let's go here just to keep an eye on everything. I'm fine with this move. Check. Let's go. Let's attack the bishop. There we go. There we go, guys. He resigns. Let's go. If black throw this, he just throws this game. We converted this nicely. He lost his advantage. Your understanding is so good. Thank you, not one. Blitz or rapid. If you want to play, you have to send me the Blitz challenge. And if you enjoy this game particularly, this game deserves a sub, guys. This game deserves a sub. Thank you, random picker. What openings till you play? The all-time S4. I usually play Italian with the black pieces and Karokan. Sorry, Italian with the white pieces and Karokan with the black pieces. Akshit, you have to wait, bro. Let me finish this game against Nitish XLOQ. He is using the international flag. Are you from Russia? Russian School of Chess. Let's go for the Gorpov variation. Don't remove knight f6, but there is no trouble for this variation. And who can tell me what is the problem with the pre-move knight f6? Let's see who knows some traps in the in the Caro-Kann defense. What is the problem? Okay, now of course we want to recapture that. Yeah, that queen e2 move initially was the problem. Nitish is from Rajasthan. Actually, just wait for me to finish this game. I think I can bring the bishop out here. Looks interesting to me. Let's take the queen first. So bishop is not actually hanging. Danger level is high. Take the bishop. Is anything else? Let's just take this. E6 now. Hello, Kiev chief. I can go back. Bishop E7 defends the knight. We are ready to castle kingside. Queen C7. Rook to D8 is coming. Yeah, let's go for this. Rook to D8, then C5. Only then C5. Let's go. I don't think game has been started between Magnus and Alireza. It will be fun to watch because both are like at the same level, but still Magnus has like more experience, but you can't get Alireza down easily. Hello, Sik. Welcome to the stream, my bro. Let's take the bishop. Okay, give up the bishop for the knight. Thank you very much. I'm already applying some pressure. Hello, no OG. Welcome to the stream. And that's the blunder. That should be the blunder. Or is it? I don't think so. Bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes, rook takes. Yeah, it is just going to be equal. But that is a blunder because it allows c5. I'm calculating this line. Bishop takes e5, rook takes e5, queen takes e5, d takes e5, then rook takes queen, but then he simply recapture. And then it is just going to be okay. I think c5 wins the game on the spot because not only we are attacking the pawn, if you takes, you are losing the queen, and if you push the pawn, then you are losing the knight as we have two attacker on the e5 square. Why is knight f6 bad in Caro-Kann? I will show you that line. Let me just finish the game, the all-time score. Hello, Kipsif. What is no? What do you want to say? Hello, Sheikh. Yes, bro. It is just completely winning for us, I think, because there is no easy way to defend this. Knight f3 might be the move, but then I got bishop takes, knight takes back, and then rook takes d4. We will be up a pawn with a better position where we can completely solidify our pawn as well. He's attacking our bishop, but I have bishop takes d4. Not going for rook takes d4 because then he might allow that bishop with check, damaging the pawn structure. But here, of course, we can completely solidify that bishop. Or I don't think we need to go for bishop is already well defended. So f5, the game is over. That's a fork. You didn't explain the trap of knight p move. I will explain that, my bro. That is not good either. We are going to take the okay. You sack this, but what about your knight? Okay, designs. Let me show you the trap. Queen hanging. Wait, everybody. Let me just show you the trap. Oh, let's just go back here. Yeah, you don't want to pre-move knight f6 here. No, like you don't want to pre-move knight f6 here. Oh man. Uh, let's see here. We need to, and now you don't want to pre-move knight f6 because knight d6 is a checkmate. Right? You can't take with the pawn as it is pinned by the queen, and you don't have any legal. That's the reason. That's why after you play knight to d7, white can throw in queen e2. So you are not supposed to pre-move knight g to f6. In this case, you have to play knight d to f6. As now, knight d6 is not a checkmate. Yes, the pawn is pinned, but your queen can capture the knight. And if you compare the situation where you just pre-move knight g to f6, here there is a knight in between. So your queen can't take the knight. And of course, the pawn is pinned. I hope that makes sense to you. Why you choose Caro-Kann over Sicilian? Because Initially, I started watching Gotham Chess, and he literally teach everyone that play the Caro-Kann defense. And I'm a victim of that thing as well. I could not get myself away from that disease. I'm just joking that Caro-Kann is a great opening because Caro-Kann is simpler than Sicilian. Yeah, that's the what that is one of the reason. In Sicilian, you have to know like many variation. There are like some sub variation of every variation. Whereas Caro-Kann is simple, solid, and it is easy to learn. Bishop sack करते तो queen मिलती. Still, we just completely win the game. Any other questions, guys? No, not really. You mean queen e2 to smaller mate? Yeah, yeah. Set the bishop with check and win the queen after. Knight f6 is bad in corpo variation cause you will get smaller mate. Yeah. I like Alakaine's defense. I got 90% accuracy most of the time. Yeah, that is one of the craziest opening which you can choose. But that can sometimes backfire as well, as you allow white to give like you allow white to take the entire center. Play with Tuli. What Tuli OP? Can you play with me, Achit? Of course, I will play against you, but let me watch for the games now. If the game has been started or not. Okay, there is no game going on. There is no game. That means we can play some games of our own. Okay, let's go back. Okay, now you guys can send me a challenge. Karukan is not played in higher level that much will change opening in future. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is the thing. Karukan is not getting played at higher level, but still it is very solid. Still it is very solid. Gukesh used to play Karukan, and Anatoly Karpov was one of the grandmaster who used Karukan as a main weapon in his time. So it is still like playable. Almost till like 2600, 2500, 2600. When will this game start? I don't actually know. Let me try to access the YouTube. Only then I can tell you. They will have the everything. They will have the everything there. Just wait for this ads to get finished. And will you analyze it also? Yes, random picker. I will try to look for that game as well. What is C4 in Karokan? C4 is known as Panov attack, which is so dangerous system with the white pieces. Okay, there is nothing, no information about the games. Okay, let's see. What are they talking about? Uh, they're just running some ads. They're still yapping instead of starting Alireza versus Magnus.
The world's second best when it comes to
okay,
this,
now I think we are going to get the game.
And he's looking to go for gold this time.
Yeah, as Nemo said earlier today, very aggressive player, and I think he's figured something out since Riyadh last year. Remember, he lost in straight sets, but then he actually made it very close at the Speed Chess Championship Finals in London. He only lost.
Oh, it's in the video itself. Sorry, yeah, bro. Just
that he's nearly Magnus's equal. And here's the stat I want to give you from that event. They played 27 games. What? 19 were decisive.
Why? I don't want to use. Alien Gambit is risky if you don't know how to play an attack. Yeah, that's great. That's right. How you handle an Alien Gambit?
We're going to see what kind of style he shows today.
In Alien Gambit, you have to know some of the moves. In Alien Gambit, you have to know some of the moves. First is never try to save this rook in the corner. Never try to save this rook in the corner. And second, you have to know the move c5, c6 to c5. Initially, you play c6 in the Karokan, and you have to advance that pawn to c5 with the idea of undermining the d4 square. And then you have to know e6, right, to block the bishop check, right? And again, if you are facing a knight check on e5, always go for king z8. Always go for king z8. Let me just show you this. d4, d5, knight here, takes, takes. And if you play like knight f6, knight g5, first you can try to invite the alien gambit here, knight takes f7, king takes. If white start with bishop to c4, then you have to block with this pawn. Yeah, you don't want to go back this time. And let's say white goes to knight f3, and you play something like bishop to d6. Knight goes to e5 check. Here is completely bad because first thing you can eliminate the knight, pawn takes, then you trade the queen and play the one knight d5. And black is already winning because you managed to trade the queen. So that is the point here. So after the move bishop d6, you are not going to be watching knight e5 check. They can castle, then you simply play rook to e8 and you are fine. It is still very danger, but you are going to be fine there. Okay, let's take consider of other line. After takes. Instead of bishop c4 check, let's say white bring this knight out. Then you play the move c5 with the idea of undermining the d4 pawn. And again, if he takes, you trade the queen and you are completely winning. So you might see the move c3, and again you bring the knight here, and again this bishop. Okay, knight e5 check. Again, you just take and trade the queen. That's the thing. And if you are facing bishop c4 check, again you have to know e6. If he takes, then you trade the queen and you are surviving. And let's say he brings the knight bishop out. You takes here, he recaptures and play the move bishop d6, castles, rook e8, and you are surviving the game. It is still very dynamic, anything can happen, but you will survive the game. Alien Gambit is handled by sacrificing the rook like I watched one match. Yeah. Bro, I finally got 2 days of continuous sleep. Wow, that's great, XYZ. Play with me to leave OP. Okay, so as the Alpine Scandinavian variation. Game has started. Check. They have sit on setup. Okay, let's see. What is going on here? Why the casting has been stopped? Okay, they are about to get back. What the heck? What is this language? I want to hear in English. Wait. Oh, my internet.
That affects you at all?
That's all right. Last year,
Okay, they are interviewing Magnus.
Saudi, and he plays for the Falcons, so it was the same.
Okay, and when it comes to Ferrugia in general, it seems like you have more respect for him, or at least maybe for his skill, than you do for a lot of your other opponents. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think he's really.
Yeah, they're asking some interesting questions. Magnus has a lot of respect for like Ali Reza as compared to other players.
Are you feeling confident and up to your game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not.
Akshit, you have to wait. We are gonna watch for the games. Magnus will get 1,000 points for Team Liquid. Let's see what tournament are they playing right now. This is eSports World Cup 2026.
I'm interested in hearing what Ferrugia has to say.
Absolutely, Ali Reza. You were there in grand finals last year. This time, you're home. The crowd has been making some noise. How does that make you feel?
I feel happy that
I feel happy.
My path was not easy, so now I'll try my best to put a good fight.
Okay, he's going to try his best. Let's see. We are going to have a hell of a game.
Was that a match that you've prepared for a while? How do you come into this match?
No, I just wanted to.
Padle bhai, comment mera. What is your comment? No, Ozi, I didn't see your comments.
Fight and we'll see.
I need to go like way too up. Bishop sack karte to queen milti. Yeah, maybe you are right, but I completely missed that idea in the game. Just start the damn Magnus versus Ali Reza already. Yeah.
And only one will punch that ticket into the grand finals. It is time for Ali Reza Ferrugia versus.
Look at that dude. Look at that dude.
Thank you, guys. We are back with the second semi.
Let's go.
Of the day. Magnus Carlsen,
Sit back, get relaxed, and be ready to watch the hell of a game, guys.
Every single year,
Against
every single time, it is so exciting.
all the odds, Ali Reza is making it to the semi-final, and we are going to watch out for two giants of the game.
A Falcon goes down, the other enters the arena for Ali Reza Ferrugia. It is a spot to the final, but in front of him, the ultimate boss of chess. Number one for Team Liquid, looking to rise at the top.
They are setting up the Aristom, I think, for some heart rates, measurement.
It has always been dramatic.
Who do you guys support? I support Ali Reza, to be honest. I really want him to win. Magnus didn't feel tense beating Nihal. Yeah, Magnus didn't feel tense, but Magnus has a lot of respect for Ali Reza. He just admitted that as well.
He's been under the weather this week.
And I think most of us is going to rooting for the Firuza. But still Magnus has the influence over the game of chess, so anything can happen. Let's see. Magnus has completed chess. Yeah. There is nothing else to win for him.
By these other opponents of his.
Okay, they are getting
I'll tell
the
you something. There's
armband.
history for Magnus Carlsen as well, and well, this one is a best of
I'm
six.
rooting
As
for
we
Alireza
know,
too. Yeah,
Alireza Firouzja, what a
let's
journey
go,
he's
guys.
taking down Hans.
Firuza, he deserved this title. Yeah, last year it was very hard, very
Very
hard, very like
way to win when you're not feeling in top form.
very sad for Firuza as he got to the final against Magnus, but he could not manage to beat him. This time he will be trying his best, whereas Magnus will try to make it to 2-0 in the semi-final. Okay, I think last year it was in the finals. This time it is in the semi-finals.
That was stable. That was waiting for the one moment.
Yes, that's true. Magnus is not in the form, but you know about that is something like which only Magnus has. He can come up on top in any situation. That's the quality he has.
Now these two played in Riyadh. It was the finals, but I have to say that
I'll just start the freaking game, man. I don't want to watch these things. I just want to go for the hell. Magnus effect, yeah, you are right. Magnus effect. As we study Magnus effect in physics, there is Magnus effect in chess as well. Magnus somehow wins almost every time, yeah.
This is the biggest stage. And I do think that he senses that Magnus isn't in top form.
Very well could be, but I will tell you something right now. Just sitting at these screens, Alireza's heart rate is nearly 120 beats per minute. Not a single
That's
move has
crazy.
even been made yet. Magnus is getting a little bit more amped up. It just went from 70.
Okay, do you wanna
I can't wait. We're about
listen out for my commentary, or do you wanna see? Oh, sorry, or listen out for these commentary, guys?
We have Team Liquid versus Team
Should I
Falcons.
increase the sound level?
Queen's pawn
What do you want?
It is.
Do you wanna
This is the
hear
Queen's
Tanya
Gambit
and
decline
Gotham?
happening here. Game one, we are off with
Yo,
Magnus
that's
Carlsen
great.
of opening here.
I'm not considering myself good at
There's a lot of
commentary.
Falcon fans in the building. We saw them go wild when Alireza walked in. A lot of support. And
Okay, let me
by
finish.
everyone.
Let me fix
It
one
was
of
in
the
Riyadh,
things.
the Esports World Cup, where we had
But I don't think we can
dramatic
fix that.
moment of the tournament when finally
I just
Magnus
want to have
started
like both
down
of the
Baru,
players
and
on the
Alireza
screen.
shushed the crowd.
Shush the crowd. Shut down two Falcons. It's really must be nice to win all your games and all your matches and then trash talk a little bit with the audience. I have to tell you. Now, this Queen's Gambit declined. The reason why Magnus is thinking so early, it's a very
Is it good now?
Black has like 7 different moves that he can play on that last turn.
high heart rate for Arisa. Yeah, it is going to be even higher.
Tanya, these two have played
We can't hear their commentary anyways. So if you want to hear,
and I'm talking about
I can increase the sound
1+0
level.
bullet all the way up to classical chess. How do you even explore new territory
G5
at that
Ninja.
point when it's likely thousands? There are 3 digits after the first one that you've played.
You
Feel
know
no,
each
it's
other's
good.
soul
Yeah,
by
that's
now
right.
is the problem. Where do you find fresh ideas? Well, we have the first pause of the game, and it is Alireza Firouzja after a trade at the center. Does he take that pawn back with the knight with his own pawn, or will he capture the pawn right behind it on d4? There are 3 moves possible right now for the Falcon. Which one will he lock in on?
Well, let's see. Lazovic, I think, takes with the pawn. Alireza, maybe knight. Hey, there we go. That's the dynamic player that I know and love. But it doesn't really matter. It's a queen's
Okay,
pawn
maybe knight
game,
takes
which means
back.
there's still a lot of stability.
The one thing that we've seen from Magnus and observed as commentators and fans is that if you have to beat this guy, if you have to have your chances against the world #1, against the GOAT, you need
They
to
are
drag
thinking
him
this
out
much
into
in the
imbalanced
opening.
positions as quickly as
Yeah,
possible.
you know about
You
these
need
players.
those complications to
They are
happen.
just
You want those
they
opportunities
are playing like so
where both
perfect. They
players can
have
go
to get
wrong.
each other
And I
into
think in
like
position-
deep dark forest, as Mikhail Tal said. They have to take each other in the deep dark forest where somebody makes a little mistake and you are going to take over on that mistakes. That's the reason they are thinking in the opening, trying to find a way to make it complicated, making some imbalances in the game, and then trying to get over the game. Even I think too much in the opening rapid. I sometimes forgot opening lines as well. Yeah, and sometimes if you do these things, you might be in trouble in the middle game. And there you go. There is some pressure on that knight on f3 as well. Rook is on the c file and queen is on the c file. That means Firuza has to be careful with the white pieces. And Magnus is fine here. Deep dark forest where 2 + 2 = 5. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Should I make the board a little bit smaller, or is it good, guys? The second board is analysis board, which commentators are trying to analyze the game with. Why are you hiding my comments? Bro, I'm not hiding your comments. Maybe it is something about YouTube itself. Use CDC. It's fine. Okay, let's go back to the chess.com, I guess. What do you guys want to watch for? Should we stay on YouTube or should we go for CDC back? Okay. Magnus is thinking, what should I do? I think it's Magnus who is playing with the white piece. My bad. And Alireza is playing with the black pieces. Well, Magnus is just keeping the queen on c2 square. Okay, I don't think we can analyze the board here, so it will be better on the chess dot. Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go to the board here. Now it is good. Bro, I haven't seen your stream for a week. Did I miss anything important? No, bro, you didn't miss anything important. But you really missed my tilt. I lost all of my points in the blitz games. I was 2250 and now I'm 2100. Go to setting, you will see more feature. Where? Where do you want to go for? Settings. I don't want to use like more features. It is kind of enough. Oh, it is like move order. Okay, I don't want to watch these moves. Maybe I will love for like inaccuracy or mistakes. Mistakes, blunder, miss, brilliant and great. Yeah, this is good. Let's go. Oh, it's okay. You will get back to 2250. Okay, let's see. हाँ भाई की शादी हो गई बीच में. Yeah, that's true. XYZ in Sunday there is gonna be a tournament. There is going to be a tournament where if you came on top three, you will receive a membership. I think that's what you miss. Yeah. Board setting also. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. The culture. Okay, what is going on in the game? Okay, three minor pieces have been traded off. Both players has like almost equal time on the clock, and the material is also equal on the board. And again, this is something known as colonial move. I have said this before, where you make a move on the same file, but you put your piece on a defended square deep in your opponent's territory. That is known as the colonial move. Of course, white is not going to capture here. Maybe white can try to kick out the rook, but again, if you play b3, some of the dark square will be kind of weak. Knight goes back to f3, avoiding the trades on d4. What format and when? It will be 3 plus 0. Can you centralize the board a bit? Then you will not be able to watch out for the clock. Why is it written 2919 for Magnus? Because it is his current rapid rating. I'll participate for fun. Okay, that is going to be great. Yeah, if I try to move the board to the left side, you will not be watching for the clock and you will not be able to watch for the profiles. I'm almost 2000. I'm like 1970, I think. Then you are going to have a good fight, Santa, because there are like everybody who is like below 2000. And of course, I will be not playing in that tournament. Oh, rapid and world rating is different. Yeah. Your online rating and your FIDE rating is different for some reason. Bro, go in board setting. You can put clock below the chessboard. You can crop the time and face in the empty middle space. This is ongoing match. Yes, Rajmet. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Note is giving me some nice inputs. But how to change that? Interface, pieces, board, sound theme, piece notation, move classification, piece animation, move method, coordinates. I don't think there are any options like that. Broadcast, live board tracking, advanced engine setting, player names above and below board. That is this one. Allow player following, white plays on bottom. Show critical move arrows. So librating. Okay, let's go for player names above or below. And then white always on bottom. Should we keep white always on bottom? I think we should. It will be easy to commentate. Save. Okay, now it will be fun. Thank you very much, Note, for this beautiful input. And we have the first brilliancy of the game on the board, guys. We have the first brilliancy. King takes back. Oh, no. I want to keep it at this pace. Rook g4 check. King goes back. And now I think it is fine, guys. Can you tell me if there is anything wrong here? I think everything looks great now. Yeah, there we go. Bro is saying first brilliance like it's normal. Yeah, yeah. In Super Grandmaster games, it is completely normal thing to do. Hello, Beast Physics. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, that's better, lol. Yeah, it worked. It worked. Thank you very much, not note. Thank you very much. It's normal because they are very high rated. Bro, hi. Yes, Beast Physics. Hello, hello. Good evening. Rook e4 is follow up, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Now I need to get into the game mode. Okay, black is down to material sum, but white king is weak. Magnus is up a piece for the moment. Magnus has an extra piece, but look at the white king. Okay, just have a quick recap what happens here. Okay, after white goes back with the knight f3, Alireza goes for knight to f4. First brilliance maybe, but it is not a brilliancy because it is a basic tactic. Your queen is going to be undefended. Queen to d2 only move, and now there we go. Knight takes d2, the first brilliancy of the game. King takes back, and now comes rook z4 shed. If you are going back, queen to e4 is coming with an attack on the knight. That's exactly what happens. King h1, queen e4, only move to keep the pressure on the knight. And now comes queen to e2, the only move to keep this knight protected. If Magnus loses this knight somehow, then Magnus is going to be in trouble. There we go, d4, trying to open up the lines. You can't take again because your queen is undefended. d4 by black, yeah, d4. Black has a slight advantage according to Evil Bar. Yeah, black has sacrificed a piece, but now it is all zero. Santa, when is the tournament? On Sunday. What? XYZ, you don't need to worry about that thing. I will share the information. आकाश भाई का मैसेज हाइड कौन कर रहा है? मैं तो नहीं कर रहा भाई. आकाश की तो मैसेज दिख रही है. And you are the only moderator here. Deadlock position. Okay, maybe black can even go for d3, d2. It is not too late. And now Magnus is taking a pause, but still Firuza is not like so high on the clock as well. Firuza has only 3 minutes 18 seconds. Where Magnus had some handful of time on the clock, 4 minutes 40 seconds. But still, I think d3 is one of the move. And queen has only one square to keep protecting this knight. Right? Queen is the only defender of the knight. Ah, my mouse. Okay, white offers a rook trade here. And I don't think black has anything better than to trade. Because you don't have any move. Maybe you can try rook h4, but you are giving the entire z file for the white pieces. But d3. Ah, look at the crazy idea. If you takes here, then white recaptures with the rook, and after d3, Magnus will be ready to play queen to d1, still keeping an eye on that knight. Firuza has to be careful now. He's below to 3 minutes. 2 minutes 50 seconds is not a lot of time against Magnus. Only move again, yeah. Computer is saying d3 is one of the moves which you can go for. But at this moment, I think if you are going for d3, rook takes g4, d takes e2, there is going to be rook takes d8 check. And how are you going to survive? But there is a problem though. After d3, if you takes this, simply queen takes back. Again, keeping an eye on the knight. And if you take here with the rook, rook takes, queen takes, and you lose the knight at the end of the line with check. Great move is only move to gain advantage or not loss advantage. Yeah, that's right. Alireza is plus in low time situation. Yeah, I have seen him playing the game of chess with literally 2 seconds on the clock. But of course, it was like 2+1. Of course, it was 2+1. Remember trial ball? I'm so sorry, beach physics. I do not remember trial ball. So he's not to be underestimated. Yeah, Magnus will find a way. Okay, there we go. First straight of the G4 square. Queen takes, and of course you can't take this pawn because of rook takes D3. If you take, then you are losing this knight with check, and black is going to be fine. I think the position will be equal. Okay, it did go for this. Yeah, but still queen and pawn and game, which is sorry, Alireza just goes for the draw. He repeats the move and we get into the draw. First game have been ended in a draw. That means we have to watch out for the second game. Not to forget that there is going to be only 6 rapid game, and after that game we might have a tie break in the bridge section. Does Hikaru choke in present situation? Yeah, that's true. He is the he is the resourceful player in any situation, but still he has like some problem with his luck. Alireza won against Hans in 1 minute versus 5 minute situation. That is kind of crazy, Vivek. Yeah. Why not pawn to h3? Where do you want to go h3? Where do you want to play h3, man? Okay, if you are playing h3, you take this. No, 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 not this. I think because of the queen step. Oh, no, no. Why h3 is bad move, but why? Black is completely winning here. Aha, simply take what I'm thinking. Queen takes h3. So you are not playing h3 there. And now it is just a repetition. Now let's go back, see the second game. Why did Magnus not play for a win? Because Magnus had like no chance in that game. His king was so weak. Read my last message. No OG. Okay, let me see your last message. Let me see your last message. No OG. Kunal Singh 92026. What about that? No OG. What about Kunal Singh? I don't know what you want to say. No, before the rook even moved pawn to h3 4 pushing back the rook. Maybe, but let's try to focus on the current game. It is not possible for about win, otherwise it will be a draw. Is it FIDE? No, it's not a FIDE game, Raj. It is Esports World Cup, which is taking place online on chess.com. Okay, again, both players are developing their pieces rapidly. And let's see the opening moves. Okay, Ali is out for d4. There we go, knight f6, knight f3, d5. The queen's gambit decline is on the board. Bishop f4, kind of getting into the unknown territory, but this has been played so many times before as well. e3 takes, bishop takes, knight b6 attacks the bishop, bishop goes back to e2, bishop c6, d6, bishop goes back, and it is kind of typical London structure. He trades the bishop on g3, and now white has the h file, and Alireza will try to use that h file for the attacking purposes. But Magnus is so solid on the king side as well. You are not pushing g4 easily as he is controlling that square with the two pieces. Sadly, all Indians are out. Yeah, that's the thing. But you can't do much thing about this as they are really the monster of the games. And still, Nihal and Arjun is in the race, but they need some experience. Okay, now Magnus is taking a long pause here. Maybe Magnus can try to play Queen d6 just to connect the rooks. But Queen d6 might turn into Knight b5 there. Maybe he can try to play c6 just to take control of the b5 and d5 square. And then maybe trying to play Queen c7, Rook c8. These are the moves. Okay, Magnus goes for h6. I completely misses that. h6 just taking away g5 square. Oh, my bad. It is actually Alireza to move. Okay, Alireza plays bishop to f3. Magnus' biggest weakness is opening. Really, bro. Magnus is one of the super grandmasters who knows like everything. Queen's Gambit is a gambit, or is it, or it is an opening name. Queen's Gambit is actually, you can call it a gambit as well, but it is a completely dynamic opening as well. No, Ozzy, I'm so sorry. If you want me to read your last comment, you can just comment that thing again. I don't need to go like upward. You have no idea about Magnus. Yeah, it doesn't lose any pawns. Yeah, Magnus admitted. Okay, a4. That is slightly inaccurate move because it gets the game. I think slightly better for black if you let the engine run. E4, trying to open up the d file, chipping away the pawn in the center of the board. For the moment, everything looks normal. Maybe white can try to play e4, but then e takes d4 attacks the knight. You don't want to go for e4 too early. The thing about Nihal Sarin is he doesn't manage time properly. Yeah, they need some more experience. Can you please play a match with me now? Ankita Roy, I'm not playing the game right now. I'm just trying to analyze these games as it is the second semi-final of the Esports World Cup. And two giants of the game is taking on each other. Magnus Carlsen versus Alireza Firouzja. White should centralize the rook. Hello, Toxic Plays. Welcome to the stream. White should centralize the rook. Maybe you can try to play rook e1, just aligning the rook with the queen there and trying to meet the move e takes d4 with e takes d4, which will attack the queen there. Yeah, that might be the move. Rook e1 and Alireza can go for rook e1. Rook d1 is also a good move. Just trying to solidify the pawn on d4 here. Any Indian is not playing. Yeah, they got eliminated in I think top 8, if I'm not wrong. Bro, could you beat Magnus or Hikaru if they were down a queen? I can try my best, but I'm not so sure. Maybe it will be like 50-50. Nihal literally adopted Alireza and someone from the chat calling Nihal doesn't know how to manage time. Yeah, they are the monster of the chase, but still they need actually. You do not read my bro where he said. No, Ozi, I'm trying to analyze the games and trying to look for the current comments. If you really want me to read your comments, can you please comment that thing again? That was 1 plus 0. Sadly, Nihal got out by Magnus 2 years. Yeah. Bro, you become mod. WTC. I think he want to say guys. I think he want to say guys. What? What do you want to say, Anisa? The time gap is bending in favor of black. Yeah, you can say that. Magnus is well above on the clock. 2 minute time difference is a use. And white opts for the move d5. The idea is to meet the c takes d5 with knight takes d5, I guess. And if you recapture, there is going to be bishop takes d5, where white bishop is going to be a monster on this diagram. Can you play a match with me now? Because I'm going to sleep. Akshit, I'm so sorry. I'm really very sorry. Nowadays, Magnus is not in his form in OTB tournaments. Yeah, that's right. But somehow he always manages to get the game. And now e4 is quite fascinating here. Why black is allowing e4? Magnus is literally asking Alireza to push e4. And if Alireza does go for e4, he might have the winning advantage because he will have the protected passer for the entire game. Yeah, right, e4. And e4 is the top computer move in this position. Just protect the pawn on d5, and now black has to be very careful in the end game to not allow that pawn to get way through to the promotion. I think Alireza will go for this, but it is Magnus to move. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. Why I think that c5 has been played? Bro, मुझे तो mod बनाया नहीं. Yeah, but is Magnus planning something? I don't know. Okay, it is with the knight. Toxic, I will try to make you mod as well, but you have to commit to the channel that you will be coming on the stream like every day if you got time and you will manage the chat efficiently. Okay, knight got traded off and bishop takes d5 happens, where white bishop is great here, applying some pressure on the diagonal in this applying some pressure on this diagonal and on this one. Okay, let me just change the socket of my mouse. Oh, that's the wrong one. Magnus not even in good form, but still manages to beat these players. End game good, bro. आपका चश्मा light में reflect कर रहा है. How to make calculation correct and fast? Just watch the Dilgil Chess channel. I'm also coming every day. Now everybody wants to become a mod. Let's focus on these games, guys. Let's try to focus on these games. Let's try to focus. Rook to c5, and now I think, wow, look at that thing. What happened here? Okay, Magnus dropped the bishop back to e6. A little bit trade on e6. Yes, Magnus do have the double pawns, but look at the pawn on e6, doing a great job controlling the only outside. Sorry, controlling the very important d5 square. As White really wants to use this pawn. Now Magnus gives that pawn back for some activity here. Maybe trying to get the rook to c2, attacking d2 pawn. Bro, 3400 van. Bro, you just moved a pawn and somehow made Alireza winning lol. I'm so sorry for that. अगर सब मॉड बनेगा तो आम गरीब जनता कौन? Okay, what is the actual idea for Magnus? Why did Magnus give up a pawn? Maybe the idea is this is the rook endgame and Magnus is the ultimate goat of the endgame and he wants to get some activity. If rook c2 and rook d2 happens, White really have to be very careful on the second rank. Whereas you are not going to attack black king so easily. The pawn on e6 is well defended by the king and rook c2 is coming. How are you going to stop that? You are not stopping that. Maybe White can try rook b5 here. And according to the computer, top move is to play b4. Rook on 7th heaven. Can he win this? This is not certain. This is like very hard to win this game with either pieces. Most likely this another game is going to be a draw. But still you can't say anything. Alireza is down on clock. He has only 3 minutes 40 seconds where Magnus has well time on the clock. He has almost 6 minutes. Almost what? It is 6 minutes 2 seconds for Magnus. I have a lot of accessible where GM teach, but I like, but like 14-15 hours should watch full videos. Yeah, Vivek. Okay, rook b5 happens, attacking the pawn here. Magnus out for rook to d4, attacking e4, and Alireza give the pawn back for some activity on the d file and for some activity on the b file. And now, if you are leaving the 7th rank, then White is the one who is going to occupy that with the greater effect. The endgame king with higher time. Now, this situation is bad. Let's see. Alireza is one of the beasts, one of the giants of the game. So you can't really underestimate him. Anything can happen in these kind of situations. So we need to be ready to watch out for the hell of the game. And we just saw this thing happening in the Hikaru versus Danish game, where Hikaru was completely fine. That game was a draw, but one bad move and everything slips away in a flash. Alireza might lose on time. Let's see. Time will tell. The endgame king, Magnus, taking on Alireza with 2 minutes ahead on the clock. But you all know that rook endgames have the higher tendency to end in a draw. Higher tendency. The best move is king to f1, just trying to get the king into the center of the board here. And now c equal. Now c eval bar will quickly go up. Let's see what is going to happen. For the moment, it is like all zero. Eval bar is thinking it's almost the game. We can call it a draw. Both players are playing with almost 90% of accuracy. White with 98.7 and black with 99. So almost a perfect game of chess. Rook goes to d3, activating the rook on the 3rd rank and trying to lure black into playing rook c2 because White can capture on b7 and there is rook e2, but White can meet with rook f3 check where it will defend the pawn on f2. Magnus decides to attack the rook on the b5 with the move a6, and I really like the move rook b6 here with the idea of playing rook d6, keeping an eye on the pawn on e6, and still keeping an eye on that pawn on b7 as well. No, Ozzy, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring. Okay, rook f3 check happens, and now maybe rook b6 just to keep an eye on the pawn. Yeah, rook b6. Rook c2 is not an option as you will lose the pawn with check here. Rook goes back to e4. Now the a5 pawn is hanging and it's really very hard to defend that. You have to make your rook very passive on a3. Although if I give you like 15 seconds, you will not be able to find. But Ali Reza finds that move. G4 is the top computer move. And he did find that move. I don't even know what is the idea. Maybe to stop the advancement of the pawns on the king side. And now Ali Reza down to 2 minutes, only 1 minute 55 seconds on the clock. And now the b7 pawn is hanging. Magnus allowed the capture on b7. It is a goes for this, and now this is completely equal end game. But Magnus king looks way too active. Whereas Ali Reza king is still on g1 square. It will take you 3 moves to activate your king. Whereas Magnus is just playing king e5, I guess, here. Or g5, f3, white goes for f3, king e5 or g5. G5 is the top computer move. King E5 is third or fourth best move. She could have also pushed the pawn B. Yeah, B pawn. Why G4? I would never guess it also. Yeah, why G4? Maybe to stop the advancement of the black pawn on the king side. But now G5, that means Magnus is never going to be able to push the pawn on H5. Whereas white is going to have the chance of playing G3 and then F4. G3 and F4. But I think Magnus is already calculating H5. That's why that's why Ali Reza puts the rook on H7, not allowing playing H5. I don't even know what is going on the chat. In the game, guys. Rook B2 is happening there. Ali Reza is allowing rook B2. And then Magnus is going to have an outside passer. Wow, Magnus did go for this. He takes the pawn on H6 with check. But Magnus has this huge asset in the form of outside passer, whereas Ali Reza pawn is not going too far. There is 2 pawns and the king will stop these pawns. But how are you going to stop this pawn? Okay, Ali Reza gets the rook behind the pawn. Rook goes back, defending the pawn laterally. Again, king e5, king f4 looks interesting for black. Right here, king e5, king f4. There we go. Ali Reza advances the king in the center of the board. You can see the king e5 move, which is one of the move. E5 in itself is the move, but then you might run into some nasty checks on the 6th rank. All theory, this is definitely not winning for Ali Reza. Of course, if anybody is winning, it will be Magnus. It will be Magnus. Now, Levy is on high. Levy is on high, but Ali Reza rook is behind the pawn, which is better, right? Yeah, I think it looks like Ali Reza rook is better because it is behind the pawn. And you want to keep your rook behind the pawn, where you are defending the position or where you are attacking the position. So you may see that Ali Reza rook is much active. Ali Reza rook can be used to throw some checks, but now Magnus is trying to get the king assistant to push this pawn. And rook will do the job of defending the pawn there. And it is very easy for black to defend the rook with e5. Okay, there you go. Ali Reza is attacking the pawn on e6. You can see the move king b4 here with the Magnus intuition. What you are going to, oh, there we go, king b4, sacrificing the pawn on these things with the idea of pushing this outside passer. This is a huge asset, and sometimes rook can block the a file as well. Ali Reza has to be really careful here with only 40 seconds on the clock. Will he survive this game, guys? Buckle up, sit back and relax. You are going to watch the intense game. Now with only 30 seconds on the clock, where Magnus has almost 3 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes 40 seconds, with the huge asset. But still, Ali Reza is so resourceful in any kind of situation. If there is anyone who is capable to beat Magnus or hold Magnus, it is of course the Ali Reza Firouzja. But it is not going to be an easy task. Only 19 seconds on the clock. The pawn is just 2 steps away from the queening. Rook goes back to e1. Now rook a1 is forced after a2. Rook a1 is forced after a2. And then king a4, king a3, rook b1 is coming. Black might win this game, but now black has to be careful about this pawn as well. F takes d5 and this pawn can just literally march through. Wow, black goes for this pawn, rook takes d5. And now it is going to be a draw because white has the counter play. Yeah, white really has the counter play. There you go. Rook is defending the pawn and white is advancing with the king. There you go. I think, okay, white is sacrificing the rook, but now this pawn is just, yeah, that's a draw. That's the beast. That's the beast. Wow, that's crazy. It looks almost dead for Ali Reza. But then comes the beast mode activated. With only 18 seconds on the clock. Managing the enough counter play on the king side that forced the Magnus to push this pawn. If you give this position to anyone, everybody is playing a2, king a4, king a3, and rook b1. Just to illustrate, you can go here. If you take, but it is completely winning for black now. You are not taking that. So Magnus could have gone for this. A2 is so tricky move. Rook a1 is forced. Now rook b2 is check. Right, king move, and you play king a4. If he takes king a3, you pose rook b1. Wow, that's crazy. White pawn is in time to promote itself as well. Wow, man, rook takes e2 with check, and now this. You have to go back, but now king is going to be in time, I guess, because black king is far away to the action, and even if you're capturing this pawn is just getting to the queening square, and you have to sacrifice the rook back. That's crazy. Let's go back for the other game. Is there any question for you guys? Bro, how Firuza draw with 19 seconds? Because they are super grandmaster. They are not like us. If becoming GM is difficult, but 11th match have the level of 100x GMs. Wow, man. That's crazy. Alireza got away with it. Yeah. And if you are enjoying this stream, guys, you can hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, do check out the channel. You will find something helpful, and you can throw me a sub as well. Let's go for the third matchup. Okay, let's see the opening moves. Magnus opens with e4 this time. c5. The Sicilian is on the board. Probably the knight of variation, but this is the canal attack with bishop b5 check. You can see bishop d7, knight c6, and even knight d7. Let's see what Alireza goes for. Knight to d7, c4, a6, a bishop a4, and after these moves, we are on the move number 7, where Alireza gets the knight on c6. And now bishop e7 castling kingside is the idea for black. White can go for kingside castle. White can play d3 to open up the bishop's diagonal. Who the fuck say the math is easy? Your mod is blocking me. No, Oji, I'm not so sure about this. Santa, is that true? You are blocking no Oji comment. Toxic, don't say sweating words. Why did Magnus not try to win on time? Because there is nothing more to be done, man. Alireza is a beast in like hyper bullet as well, and there was nothing more to be done as well. Yeah, I do think that as well. Magnus should have tried to flag Alireza, but I don't know. You don't know what are going on in their mind. Holy moly! Why GM does not play London system? Who said GM doesn't play London system? Magnus do play London system. Sportsmanship, yeah, that is one of the things. Sportsmanship, they do have the respects to each other, and they want to just have that respects to the ultimate level. Vivek, what is your standard? What is going on in the chat? I don't even know. Give your IG. My IG, you can find that in my channel description. Think this will go to the Armageddon? Yeah, I do really think that. Yeah, I do really think that it might goes into the Armageddon, where or is there Armageddon, or is there going to be like tiebreak in the Blitz section? I don't even know because I have never looked for the formats. I am literally watching the games right now. Is Magnus wants a fair win at this point where he's standing? Yeah, he should have flagged him. Standard means class. Okay, I'm coming back, guys. You can enjoy the game. Give me a moment to relax. Okay, I'm back, guys. I am back. And what has happened in the game? Dilgil, bro, you again go for no, man. I was doing some other job, and because in JEE there are three subjects: physics, chemistry, and mathematics. I didn't able to clear because of physics and chemistry. If I'm blocking someone, my name would be shown to Dilgil. So don't try to yes, like camera trying to focus. Don't try to be sneaky, toxic. But I know I'm preparing for ISI. Only maths need it. हम settle हैं कुणाल तुम्हारा. Okay, what's going on in the game, guys? Let me try to focus. Okay, queen gets to c7. I don't even know what is the idea. Maybe to take away this square, controlling the pawn here this way. But black pawns look so ugly. Black has 3 and 4 islands. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whereas white pawns are like so intact. That's why computer is saying white has an S here. Bishop coming to b2 looks great on the diagonal. Wow, white has the axis of b file as well. But d3 pawn might be a weakness for white as you are never going to push d4. These pawns are holding on to d4 square very nicely. Now knight d4 is coming as well. That means after the trade on d4, the position will be locked. But I don't think Magnus will trade on d4 in this term because Magnus really don't want to fix these weaknesses. And Alireza has to be very, very careful. In the long run, a6, c6, and c5, all of these pawns can be a weakness. e5 pawn can be defended with the move f6, but what about these things? It is not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. Not sneaky, but I'm too bad or I have a great dirty. Yeah, I heard about ISI. Like this is also good, but the math part is really tough. Can we focus on the game, guys? Can we focus on the game? And if you're enjoying the game, why there are only 13 likes? Sorry, 33 likes. How do I get a job just after passing 12th grade? You don't need to get a job. Okay, there we go. F6 has been played just to solidify the central pawn. And now white is taking over the entire b file, not allowing black to play bishop b7 as there will be queen takes b7, queen takes, and rook takes easy. This time Magnus is again up on the clock. Alireza is down to 5 minutes, below 1 minute 30 second or almost 40 second now. That means again, but I think already 2 games have been ended in a draw. So this time Magnus will try to keep the pieces on the board so that he might have some as in the end game. And according to the situation on the clock, Magnus is already ahead on the time, so it might be very useful. A long-term advantage, yeah. This Magnus will get win. Yeah, I do really think that as well. Vivek, bro, can you get job in post office by your 10th? After 12th, you can apply for NDA or other defense jobs. Accuracy is 98.3 for Magnus and 96.7 for Black. Okay, now Magnus is offering the queen trade because the pawns are going to be really weak in this endgame. But Aleja do not have like too much choices. You don't want to play queen to d6 here and allow queen to be on b6. But maybe queen d6 back and then rook d to b8. Yeah, that looks interesting. Reza can decline this. Okay, it did go for queen d6 and now rook b8 will be there. Bishop goes back to e8, trying to shift the rook, sorry, bishop to the diagonal here. But now knight is jumping on f5, where it will be a great attacking piece. It will also control the d2 square, e7 square, and it will hit the queen. Bishop g6, taking away f5 square for the knight. And now if Magnus goes for this, he might grab that pawn, sorry, knight, and f5 pawn might be a weakness. Let's see. Buckle up, guys. Magnus is up on the clock. He has almost double of the Alreza's time. Alreza got only 3 minutes 50 seconds. And computer is thinking white is really better. Is this going to be winnable for Magnus or not? It is. Yeah, now it is almost +1. But let's see what is going to happen. Bro, Divya or Nemo? Tell me first. Divya, of course. It's not even close. Divya would trust Nemo. Yeah. Can white try to execute f4? Not really, because white is not achieving as black pieces are controlling f4. And black is not allowing d4 as well. And now I do really think that black can opt for the b file as well. But it is up to Alireza what he is going to do now. Pressure is like accumulating on black's position. Rook b2 is coming, taking the entire b file. But you might drop the pawn on d3. Still, it's not easy. Black is going to have constant pressure on that pawn, and sometimes bishop takes e4 can be the problem, as your rook is going to be under fire. For the moment, bishop and queen both are defending, but you never know what can happen in the sudden time in the end game. Magnus with 5 minutes 30 seconds, Firuza with 3 minutes 17 seconds. What do you think, guys? What is going to happen now? You can teach chess? No, I'm not gonna teach chess now. No, I just want to become a teacher. Divya is a GM, but Nemo is some other woman title below 2500. Both are WGM. Toxic comparing a 2200 to a GM. No. I don't think Nemo is GM. I don't think. You are wrong. Okay, Magnus goes for a4, and now the only move to keep the balance is queen to f8. Any other move rises the bar. Queen to f8 is the top move. I don't think Alireza is going to find that. Other is rook b to a1, rook d to a1. I'm not understanding that as well, because maybe the idea is to just solidify the pawn on a6. Aha, now the idea is to play rook b6, attacking the pawn on a6, which is isolated pawn. That's why I don't even know, but what is the a4 doing here? King goes to f7, evil is going up, but queen goes back. Black is back in the game. Rook b8 now. Just take the b file. Take the b file from white rook. Rook b8. You have to find this, Alireza. Not close to the way I think whenever I speak some argument take birth. a5 is a miss. Rook b6 and rook b2. Rook b3 is other move. Rook b3 and then with the item rook b2. Queen goes to a3. Again, not the best move. Rook a8 now. Rook a8 here. With the idea by taking the pawn on d3. Okay, Alireza, find this. But now I do really think that it is black who is going to have fun. White is attacking nothing. The a5 pawn is like very easy to defend with rook a8. And the only way to attack that is just queen c3. Wow. And at some moment, I really think that white is going to face knight d4 as well. There you go. Queen c3 attacks the pawn on a5. You might see rook a8, rook a7. Queen goes to c7, defending the pawn like that, like this. Again, this is the great idea. Just trying to double up on the b file. Alireza with only 2 minutes on the clock, guys. Okay, there we go. Magnus goes for rook b3. Rook b2 is coming now, taking the entire control of b file. Knight might join the game with knight f3. Sometimes knight f5 is there. Oh, it is going to be very interesting now. Alireza going below to 2 minutes. Only 1 minute 47 seconds. Okay, bishop h5 controlling the diagonal. There you allow knight f5 controlling some of the key squares. And now if you go bishop g6, you can see g4 as well. Magnus can go for g4. That is not so surprising about Magnus. But is he going to play that move? No. Queen b2 taking the b file and really asking Alireza, do you want to eliminate that knight and give up your light square bishop? That might be the good move because the bishop is not doing great here as well. But maybe this bishop can be useful on the diagonal in the long run, as the pawn on d3 or is on a light square. Wow. I thought rook b2 was better. King goes back. On simple time, Magnus is winning, but can't say as Alireza has sudden burst at the end. Yeah, it is going to be fun. Queen a3. There you go. Another mistakes by Magnus. Apparently, knight h4 is the good move here, attacking the bishop and trying to read out the knight to this square and taking control. But I do really think that knight is good here. Knight d2 check is there, trying to eliminate the bishop this way, damaging the pawn structure like this. Oh no no! Wow, I'm thinking. Wow, I'm so bad at chess, and that's why I'm commentating the game. I'm not playing. I'm really thinking knight d2 is a move. It is just protected by two pieces. Wow, Alireza with only 48 seconds on the clock. He played f6. No, 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 that's not the move. Okay, there we go. Again, Bard is rising, but now Black is the one who is better for the first time in this game. Alireza with 40 seconds on the clock as compared to 3 minutes 50 seconds for Magnus. Are we going to watch the first decisive game on the matchup? Rook takes b3, rook b2, maybe. Rook takes b8 and then rook b8, rook b2 now, taking the b file with the attack. Bishop takes c5 is coming as well. But I don't think you want to allow this nasty check. So Magnus goes for bishop takes c5, knight takes, queen takes. a5 pawn is going to be under fire, c6 is going to be weak. And rook is nicely defending. Okay, queen b1 check, king to h2. King h2, there we go. Queen e1 attacking the rook. How are you going to save the position? Queen c3 is not a position, a move. You will lose the bishop. Bishop e3 is not there. Wow. White is going to be in trouble now. How are you going to defend the rook and the pawn here? Wow, this is going to be crazy. Rook f2. But then knight takes. Oh, that's a blunt. Knight takes. Queen takes and rook takes d3 is coming now. Queen d1 was another. Oh, that was a miss. But still now the game is back in equality. But Alireza has only 20 seconds. Magnus with almost 3 minutes on the clock. The best move is rook b2. Take the entire b file and go for the offense with queen e7. For the moment, white king is completely safe. There is no attack. This bishop is doing nothing. Color complex, guys. The bishop is a light square bishop and Magnus is holding all these light squares. Wow, knight can join the pawn. Knight f2, rook b3. Wow. Now Alireza sees the b file, but again only 21 seconds on the clock. Magnus is really taking some good amount of time and Alireza is using that time. Black is now winning. It's completely winning. What the heck is going on here? Queen f4 check is a devastating threat followed by rook b1. Your back rank. Knight g4, only move. Alireza is completely winning. Knight g4, queen f4 check, rook b1 is coming by force. You are not stopping that. Queen f4, rook b1. There we go. Knight. Wow, Magnus slipping this game away. For the moment, queen is defending the knight, but I'm pretty sure that Alireza will find a way to contact with the knight. But time is the problem. He has only 17 seconds on the clock, guys. Only 17 seconds, but black is completely winning. Oh, he's repeating. Knight is a draw. King h2 ends the draw. Alireza, what have you done? Why? Wow, man, it is going to be threefold repetition. Wow, man, at the end, time is going to be the deciding factor for the game. Oh my god, Alireza, you really slipped this away. Oh no, he changes the move. Magnus changes the move order. Magnus really wants to win the game. Magnus is kind of back in the game, guys. Magnus knows that Alireza has only 15 seconds on the clock and he is taking the risk. King e2 is the move here to defend everything and pin the knight. Bishop takes a4, knight e3. Wow, that's crazy. He is sacrificing his rook back. But rook a2 comes. White is back in the game. Magnus might win the game, guys. Now white is better. Rook takes a5, queen takes a5. Both are fine. Rook takes king g3. King G3, Knight G4. Knight G4. Or maybe King F2. Oh, what is White defending the knight that way? Trying to be offensive. Why not Knight F5 attacking G7? Knight F5. Okay, now there is pressure. There is the pressure. You need to defend. Now queen trades. Wow. Alireza has 4 seconds. Alireza might lose the game on time now. Yeah, no, it is completely winning because this spot is going to be a weakness and Alireza resigns. Wow, there we go. Magnus coming on top. What the hell of a game it was. Wow, man, let's just see the quick recap here. Alireza was completely winning, but he could not manage to find the winning move. King goes back, queen f4 check, king f, oh sorry, not there, my bad. King f, queen f4, king g1, and now the move is bishop e8 at this moment, with the idea of bishop takes a4 attacking the rook and the knight, and you are not stopping this. If you are going here, then queen e3 check, and queen is coming back to the back rank here. If you goes here, queen f4, king g1, and now queen c1. And if you are going for this, finally bishop takes a4 with enough pressure on the knight. And black king is completely safe. There is no check. What the hell was this? Wow, man. I won my bet of 50 RS from home. Magnus being tricky. That is the Magnus effect, guys. That is the Magnus effect. Magnus has a great understanding of the game depending upon whether your opponent is facing some time trouble. And here he really goes for the kill here. Wow, man. Look at that move. It was up to Magnus. If it was up to Magnus, Alireza was happy with the draw. King h2, and it's a draw. It's a draw because it has been threefold repetition. But Magnus, ice in his veins, chooses to play king to f1. And black is now completely winning. Again with the idea of that. Or here even bishop f7 is winning with some pressure over there. But now Alireza goes for queen to b3. I don't even know. Maybe the idea is to attack the rook and the knight in some way. But now there is rook d2. But queen d2 is even there. Defending the rook and defending the knight. King e2 is coming. Now Alireza goes for this. But now it is like too late. He is unpinning the knight on the time. And there we go. We have the first decisive game on the matchup. Magnus leads the game with 1-0. And now it is up to Alireza to get back in the action. Let's see, guys. Let's see. I think there is going to be a break, if I'm not wrong. Or there is going to be only 3 games? No, I think it's 6 games, right? 99% versus what was the Alireza accuracy? 97. Let's see that. Oh no, it was just 83 for Magnus and 80% for Alireza. That's easy. And if you guys are enjoying the stream and these games and the commentary, do hit that like button, make it to the 50 likes. And if you're new to the channel, you can try to check out that. You will really find it helpful for you. Alireza is going to sleep on the couch. Let's see. Dennis the meanest. Magnus Goat, yeah. There you go, guys. The goat of endgame shows why he is the beast, the ultimate OG of the chess game. Okay, I don't know when the 4th game will take place. I think we have to wait for some time, maybe almost 10-minute break. I said this might be the Magnus wins, yeah. Because my webcam is wobbling on my table. Now Gotham will again milk Magnus. Yeah, he is ready to milk Magnus. Dennis Hakon. Dennis is the grandmaster from Russia, I think. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. All-time endgame Magnus winning chance. Check the stream what is going on. Okay, let's see. Thank you for your input, random picker. What is going on here?
Pairing moves, but he was with
Entertainment that we're getting. Now, one thing's for sure, Lavi, that Alireza has it in him today to get the positions. It's only been the clock that's been stopping him.
He's absolutely always has it in
But
him
you
to get the
see,
positions.
you can get
I do
punished
say,
for
I
this
think he's
one.
the one player who
Not
consistently
very
gets good
classical, but
positions
the way
and
he's made.
winnable ones even against Magnus. The other one might be, I don't know, Arjun Erigaisi. Like, these guys, they're very good at complicating things and defending and making it not so simple for Magnus to improve his position. But if Alireza had played that with even like 7 or 8 more seconds, maybe was a chance that he would have won.
We might have been talking about a completely different scoreboard right now. For Alireza, he needs a reset. He needs to forget what has happened. There are still 3 more games remaining. There are still whites to be played right now. And I think the big takeaway from the first
That is, they are
half of
analyzing the
this
game.
match has to be better
There is a
clock
large
management from him.
HSGM. Yeah,
Every
he
single
is just
game,
master. Speed
Magnus
chess
Carlsen has
master.
had extra 2 minutes, extra 3 minutes going down to those final scrambles. And then it doesn't even matter what's going on the board. You called it, Levy. The clock truly in this 10 plus 0 is the 17th piece.
And Magnus is on a break. We see him.
Alireza should focus on time. He is good. Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose this is our
The stage with the
halftime
computers
equivalent.
looks
3
epic.
games that we played.
They are just trying to advertise it with like great effect
I love that this
in the
match
world of esports.
is so much more
Magnus जितना
dynamic
ट्रॉफी
and
विन किया
complicated,
उतना
right?
कोई किया है
Commentated
क्या
two
और कर
semifinals
सकता है
today,
क्या?
two very
It is
different
very tough.
matches.
I don't think
4 of clearly the
anybody
best
has
players in the
more
world at
trophy
this
than
format.
Magnus. It is going to be very hard for everyone else
Can
there.
just put it all together in one game.
And by the way, why there are only
Everything that he
35
does,
like guys?
complex openings, making Magnus go for.
We are going to be
positions that
watching
maybe
the
he
other
doesn't
3 games as
typically
well,
play,
and
certain pawn
I'm really
structures,
enjoying these
holding the
things. So I'm
defense,
not gonna end the stream
and then
today, guys.
messing with his
We
nervous
are going
system,
to be
but just
watching
having
the
like 2
stream
minutes
for
on
the
clock.
entire
What do you
match.
think, Levy? Do we have more Falcon fans right now or more Liquid fans in the house?
I don't know. Good question. That's a good question.
That's
We
great.
have, we
Oh
we just
man,
have chess fans.
toxic.
We have
What are you
we have
saying?
Liquid, right? We
But
have
Fischer
Falcon.
dominated
Well, the
Soviet
goal in the
Union.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Magnus
that's
comes back
right.
for the
But
second
Magnus
half.
is
He
doing
has
that
the
exact
lead.
thing as
Alireza
well.
Firouzja
He is
has to
dominating
strike
Russian
back.
players
What a
currently.
missed opportunity
Isn't
it
that?
was in the last game. Again, the
I think we
clock
are going
coming
towards the 4th
to
game
haunt
now.
Alireza for the Falcons. They're looking for the prey right now. They're looking for their target. Not too many games left. as
Fischer
we
is
go
over
into
it.
the second
Alireza
half.
was completely winning, but because of time, he lost. Yeah, Alireza really has to figure out how he's going to manage his time.
I don't like.
Tonight we sacrifice the
that
sleep
some of
schedule.
these
Yeah, that's
players
it.
sometimes
Tomorrow
say
is
things
the
like, "I'm just happy to have
Independence
made it
Day,
into the
and I
Final
need
Four."
to
Because
get
all
on
that
the
says to
job
me
at
is
6:30
Magnus Carlsen is at the end of the line, right?
a.m.
And that's
and
what makes
I'm
the
here
final. I
watching
wish like some of these players
the
that are in the
tournament.
Final Four
Bro is
talk
dominating
a
the
little
world.
bit
Yeah,
like, oh,
tonight
see
we
me,
sacrifice the
just,
sleep
put him in
statue.
the F tier and just, I'm
21st
gonna
World
but
Champion.
it,
One year,
that's,
sir.
he
Let's
doesn't
see.
just win on the board, Tanya. He wins in the mind. He wins in the
Okay, we
spirit.
are
He wins in
about
the soul
to
before you even
we
sit
are
down.
about to
They're
begin
like,
the
I want to
4th
put up a good
game
fight.
on the matchup.
And they do, but none of them
Magnus
succeed.
with water there,
Magnus
and
Carlsen, they say, lives
Firouzja
rent-free
with
in
his hand on his
opponent's
mouth.
heads.
So
And
What
a lot of
are they
real
going
estate.
to play?
it
Can you
is,
guess the opening,
especially
guys?
with these guys. I will say the one
Magnus
thing,
is going to play with the black pieces, and Alireza is going to playing with the white pieces. Can you guess the opening? Can you guess the opening? What is the opening? Okay, there you go. You see that Italian is on the board, guys. My favorite. It is going to be fun. Let's go back to the board. Let's go back to the board. Jacopiano is on the board. Let's go, guys. E4, E5. Yeah. Now Firouzja is broken. Let's see. Still, it is going to be interesting. A4 trying to take some space on the queen side, not allowing B5, but you can get it by knight A5. Okay, black goes for A5, but now B5 square is going to be a soft square for the entire game. Okay, C3 taking away D4 square. These are the completely normal moves. You just watch this in like every single game of the Italian. It was not visible in Indian. It was not visible in Indian. What do you want to say? Not. Like it was 4 p.m. When? By the way, did you see the solar eclipse on 12th of August? It was not, yeah. I see the solar eclipses videos on the internet. I'm a big fan of astronomy. I'm a big fan of astronomy as well. But it was not visible in India. It was visible in European country. And Spain was the country where you can see that total solar eclipse. And do you guys know that there is a particular thing about Earth, which is the region of total solar eclipse on Earth only? There are almost 7 planets in the solar system, but there are like no planets where you can observe a total solar eclipse. And can anybody tell me what is the exact reason? What is the I'm a fan of flat earth. That means you are a fan of USA. Flat earther? Germany and Spain, yeah. What is the exact reason? Let's see. Who knows something about like physics and our geography of our solar system? What is the particular reason which acts in the form of like we can see the total solar eclipse on Earth only. Do you believe in God? Not really. Not really. For what? For the fact that only Earth is the planet where you can observe a total solar eclipse. There are other planets as well, but you can't see like total solar eclipse. There are eclipses which gets in the form of like sometimes a ring, a diamond ring, sometimes like a curved line, but you can't see a total solar eclipse in any other planet. Other planets do have the moon, like Jupiter have the moons, which are like bigger than the Earth as well. I guess because of moon. No, man. Moon is the important factor to be in the like eclipses. Without moon, no planets can have like eclipses. Moon is the particular reason. You don't even have the knowledge about like eclipses, guys. I really have to take a class for you. Eclipses occurs only when moon gets in between sun and earth, right? And moon blocks the entire light coming out from the sun before reaching to the earth. That is the phenomena where we call it is the eclipse. I shouldn't have bring the topic of solar eclipses on 12th of August. And our galaxy is moving continuously. Yeah, that's right. I'm in 10th, not note. Stop the science. No, you really need to know that. You really need to know that. What is the reason? What is the reason that Earth is the only planet where you can observe total solar eclipse? People still believe that Earth is flat. Yeah, I'm already cooked. Okay, I think I need to tell you guys. Sam is believing in flat Earth. Okay, I'm going to tell you why Earth is the only planet where you can observe total solar eclipse. Because the size of the sun is 400 times larger than the size of the moon, and the distance of moon from sun is also 400 times further. And this exact data, almost similar data, acts as in the form of that we can see the total solar eclipse on the Earth only. As compared to other planets where they have the moons, like Jupiter has most number of the moons, or I think Saturn, almost 60, and they have the bigger moons. And in that case, moons like overshadow the sun when eclipses occurs on those planets. Like if you see the eclipses on Jupiter, Jupiter's moons are so bigger that when the eclipses occurs on that planet, you will feel that sun is smaller than the moon because sun is farther away from Jupiter as well. But if you talk about Earth, on Earth, the moon is like 400 times smaller than sun, and the distance between sun and the moon is also 400 times further. I thought you were a math teacher. I didn't know your science is that good. I know everything. Do you know you can fit all the planets in between Earth and Moon? Yeah. Come back to the chess stuff. My ears are hurting. Sai, you are brother of Baba. Bro, Kunal is same face of yours. I don't know because we are not able to leave another planet to see if it also happens on other planets. Do you know you can fit all the planets? Yeah, I don't know, but you are, I think, great in space science. And now I think the concept is clear why Earth is the only planet where you can observe the total solar eclipse. If you guys have any question, you can ask me about space science. Anything like black hole, wormhole, and what is the science behind galaxies and when the Big Bang happened, why the Big Bang happened. I'm a fan of Vishnu. Wow, that's great. Apparently, Robert Oppenheimer was a fan of Krishna as well. What is redshift? I think redshift is something when the color of the lights get shifted to the red. I think it occurs in case of lunar eclipse. Yeah, when Earth gets in between the sun and the moon, and Earth will block the light coming from the sun, and due to the intensity of the sunlight, some of the reddish light be can be seen on the moon, and that is what we call the red move. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do forgot about the red shift, I guess. Not note. Live match interpreted. Okay, let's get back into chess, guys. What is going on? Is time continuous or discrete? Continuous. Does time does time travel can happen? Theoretically, yes, but practically it is very, very, very impossible. I know red shift on Jupiter. NBM, it's good now. Now I know you are ignoring no, no Ozzy. A light is particle or wave. It is both. It is both. Not light is both. And there is an experiment which is like a double slit experiment. Double slit experiment where you just pass the light through the slit. And if you observe those light, you can see that light is acting as a particle. But if you try to avoid those things, then you will observe that light is acting as a wave. So in that manner, light is both particle and wave. Hubble law, do you know? I know Hubble telescope. I don't know Hubble law. Bro is getting his physics knowledge tested, lol. Yeah. I think Hubble is the name of telescope, which was named after some of the scientists. His name was Edwin Hubble. Yeah, I think Hubble telescope was named after Edwin Hubble. Okay, knight f4 is on the board, guys. No, it is not possible because then time have to travel infinity to get one to two because between it so many moments also we don't know yet if time continues or discrete. Also explain single slit example. I don't think there is anything like single slit example. Bro, do you know about Bernoulli's principle? Yeah, I do know about Bernoulli principle. I remember something from my college. I think it is used in aeroplane, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I'd been able. Yeah, thank you for correcting. But I was already correct. Why we are not seeing any Hindenburg type of airship? Because Hindenburg type of airship was like so heavy, like it can make like your task very very heavier. And flying that giant ship in the air is a hard task. And applying Bernoulli principle on making that airship like affordable for like normal people, it was I think like a heavy task. That's why we avoid making those. Bro, have you ever seen some train like white lights in dark sky? I have seen those very creepy. No, I don't. I have not seen that. We make time to simplify things, but what we feel is change, not time. It is used in aeroplane. Yeah, I was right. Bernoulli's principle used in aeroplane, where you make a pressure difference between the air, and then you makes the aeroplane fly. Explain single slit experiment. No, OG, I don't have the knowledge about single slit experiment. Can I ask a question? Why some volcanoes are still active in 2026 in some countries like Myanmar and Philippines? Because tectonic plates are getting on top of each other. As a result of that, uh, what do you call that? That liquid material? I just forgot about that. Are you talking about the North Lights? No. Albert Einstein, not a Sanjeev Kumar, right? Yeah, that's great. ऋषि अगर मैं अपनी साइंस पे आ गया तो सब चुप हो जाएंगे. Magma, yeah, thank you, Nozi. Magma. I think beneath the volcanoes, tectonic plates get on top of each other. As a result of that, magma gets upward direction. Magma gets a force applied in onto the upward direction. Northern lights or aurora lights. Yeah, that gets formed due to the magnetic field of Earth and solar storms coming out from the sun. Explain rusting of sun fully, not like, oh man, rusting of sun, rusting of iron. I just forgot that. What about the chemistry? I don't have the knowledge of chemistry. He is probably a physics teacher. No, or lava as well. Sanjeev Einstein. Yeah, correctly. कोई कम्युनिकेट लॉ को जानता है कोई कम्युनिटी कम्युनिटिव लॉ को जानता है नो मैं नहीं जानता भाई I think enough science for the moment. Now we need to get back. I think we might see the another draw again. Explain rusting of iron fully. Brain rot, I just forgot about that. I think it was something to do with the iron metal, where something like zinc or something else, with the help of oxygen, gets into the contact, and then they form like something rust. What is the first law of thermodynamics? I think it was dVdu. I just forgot about that. Yeah, thermodynamics was the subject which was like very very tough for me in my college. I think it was something law of conservation. Can you tell me, Sahil, if it is something like law of conservation of energy? No, zinc is used to prevent rusting of iron. Wow, that's great. But what is the purpose of that much study? You are able to invent something, not close only all studies till that is it is just waste of time. Not really. You are really exploring your universe. If you are talking about like astronomy, you are really knowing about these things and just feeling a gratefulness about your life that you are the only species on the earth who can observe these kind of phenomena which is happening in our universe. When oxygen react with metal, then it is oxidized. वाह दैट्स ग्रेट सब लोग गूगल खोल के बैठे हैं मैं नहीं खोल के बैठा भाई oxygen reacts with water touching with iron so where rusting takes place yeah so I was something like I was partially correct why that is blunder oh why that is blunder finally someone is with some good question that kind of manipulation called commutative law wow it is basics bishop goes back to h4 and now where are you putting the rook right you can't go here as rook takes white is the complete control over the d file let's get back into the action guys as we are going to watch out for some crazy moves Areza with 2 minutes Magnus with 3 minutes Magnus needs to decide where you want to put the rook rook goes back rook is going back or rook is going up you really don't have the option of playing rook d7 here. And if the iron is kept in open for too much time, it forms iron oxide of wow FeO2. Wow, you guys are great in physics. जब अल्बर्ट आइंस्टीन और निकोला टेस्ला को मदद चाहिए होती थी तब ये संजीव भाई से पूछे थे rook d7 what is this oh my god why white can't just take that huh rook takes d7 what oh all it is a fumbles Alireza trust blacks fumble. Oh man, Alireza trust Magnus fumble. Wow. Magnus bluff, I should say Magnus bluff. Alireza trust Magnus bluff. Rook takes d7 was winning. Rook takes d7 is winning. Yes, there is knight e2 check, but his queen is hanging at the end. You can simply play king f1 if he takes here. You have rook takes f1. If he takes this, you take that rook. King takes, and at the end, knight takes c7 and b3 trapping the knight. Knight b2 is the only move, then king can try to. Okay, let's go back. Let's see the current situation. Wow, man, what happened just here? Queen takes e5, rook takes d2, rook takes d2, and now black is the one who is better. Magnus effect is real, man. Wow, that's crazy. Alireza really trust his bluff. Psychological pressure came into the play. And now the time situation is even on the clock. Magnus is the one who is down on clock with 130 seconds against Firuza with 150 seconds, guys. Queen to a2, that is one of the hell of a move. The idea is to threaten some back rank checkmate as white back rank is really weak. Knight c3 is the only move. Trying to meet queen a1 check with the move rook d1 and queen is already defending d2. White might lose the pawn on a4 here. Knight c3 is going to defend that. Knight c3. White find this. Queen a1, rook d1. Okay, he blocks with the knight. Now you drop the pawn on a4. Why not rook d1? Maybe you allow knight e2 check. There, if you play rook d1. Okay, again, Alireza with 117 seconds, but I don't think time is going to be crucial for this game because both players had almost equal time. But back rank, white has to be very, very careful about the back rank. where white queen looks very active. Bishop looks great here. But what about the knight on d1? Black queen for sometimes looks like it is offside. White queen is also attacking the pawn on c7. g3, but that's a bad move. Knight s3 check. And there is knight c6 attacking the queen first. Wow, and then e4 pawn can be hanging. There is this crazy knight e2 check. Rook takes, queen takes d1. With this 4. Sorry, Magnus fine knight c6. Magnus is completely winning. Queen c3 is the only move here for white to survive. But then you're walking into knight e2. Queen takes rook. Wow, man. Queen c3. Is there knight e2 check? If rook takes, then queen takes d1 check. But rook can go back in that situation. Knight e2 is not working. Knight h3 check. That's the correct idea. King z2 looks sensible, but then there is the rook, which is applying pressure over here. Okay, you lose the pawn. White is back in the game. It is not winning for Magnus easily, but still the advantage is minus 1.6. Queen e4. Black is again better. Queen d6. Queen g6. Decline the queen trade. Defend the knight. And then with the idea of taking f2 somehow. But white trades the queen. Black trades the queen rather. Black is still winning f4. White has to execute f4, but now the bishop is gone. Bishop takes g5. But then king h5. Oh man. Wow, g takes h4. Black is completely winning. I don't even know why not. Why not he just take that pawn for a piece? Okay. Rook takes f4. Wow, look at that move, man. After this move, there's rook takes f4. If you take, knight takes back, will fork the king and the rook. Wow, that's crazy. Alireza is closing only 7 seconds. Magnus is getting another win. Magnus is taking over Alireza for the second time. Okay, he's stopping the pawn. But how longer? How longer? That's the question. Magnus sacrifices the knight because the pawns are rolling down. Magnus gets a queen. And the game is over. There we go. Magnus 3-1. Magnus 3-1. There we go, man. And now it is going to be do or die for Alireza. If he wins both of the games, only then it will get into the Armageddon. Otherwise, Alireza is out of the race. Magnus has to make a draw in the next game. And the game is over, set, done and dusted. Wow, we are going to be watching Dennis versus Magnus. It will be fun, but still Alireza has to win on demand. Next 2 games is going to be do or die for him. See upper chat, I just say G3 and he played. Yeah, I see that. You just said the G3 and he plays that. Bro, many IITians and AIMs doctors choose to become IS, IPS after studying that much. It's all waste of time study, not contributing in the society, but also after clearing UPSC, they doing corruption. Yeah, that's right. You are right in a way. I'm really considering your comments to the top level. Okay, there we go. Let's go for the 5th game. Okay, let's see the opening moves here. Wow, it is crazy, guys. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please do hit that like button. There are only 37 likes. And if you are new to the channel, you can try to subscribe the channel as well. It will help us, it will motivate me, and it will help our community to grow. SB Gamer. Yes. But you see, try to be polite in the chat, guys. Okay, d4 opening this was. Another kind of modern defense which Alireza goes for, basically giving the entire center for the Magnus pieces. But the idea is to attack the central pawn from a distance. Black will try to execute e5, but Magnus is taking a pause here, really deciding what should he go for. Whether he wants to play rook e1 to defend the pawn. You can try to push e5, but he chooses to play queen e2, defending the pawn like this. And maybe some of the ideas will be to put the rook on the d file. Okay, Alireza goes for bishop to g4, pinning the knight here, and threatening knight takes d4 with the attack on the queen and the knight. c3, reinforcing the center over here. And now maybe bishop e3 because black is already threatening. If you takes, then knight jumps onto e5. But now if you recapture, simply c takes d4 and knight will be not capturing as the rook is going to guard that. But there can be some ideas like to moving the knight and attacking the pawn with the knight as well. Sorry, bishop as well. But then bishop e3 and white will be fine there. Let's see. GM play my move, so I am not no. Yeah, that's that's a great way to motivate yourself, like self motivation. Hikaru will play tomorrow. Yeah, no Ozzy. Hikaru will play tomorrow for third place. Magnus on streak winning. Yeah, in EWC. Magnus playing Dennis. Yeah, we are going to watch out for Magnus versus Dennis in the final, I think. Bro, your qualification, my qualification, I have completed my matriculation and after that I decided to stop studying. I'm just joking. I have completed my diploma and then I have completed my engineering. Okay, let's see what is going to happen. One minor piece have been traded off on f3. Aliaja trade the bishop for the knight. That means white is going to have the bishop pair. And if you are giving the bishop pair to the Magnus, you have to be very, very careful. We need another key of success because education is not working. Where you work at Google? No, man. What key aspects to make you think like I'm working at Google? Not. Okay, bishop is defending, but now the position is kind of locked. That means black has to try to execute f5 in order to open up the position. This game is going to be the decider for Alireza. He will try as much as he can to win this game. If Magnus is saving the draw, then he is already qualifying for the finals. That means Alireza will try his best to stop Magnus. He is a rocket surgeon. Why is there a women's action in chess? It's a mind game overall. I don't even know. You have to ask this to the FIDE. Do you want to go or move abroad? No, man. I really want to be in the India. What do you do for living? I try to earn some money. I'm also graduate from IIT Dholakpur. Kabutar Sai. He rejected NASA job offer so that he could play chess. Wow, the chat is on another level, guys. Chat is on another level. And in the middle of this tournament and in the expensive game, somebody named Sudhu is sending me the 10-minute rapid game challenge. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, there you go. Alireza is going to opt for f5. Big brain, guys, big brain. f5 is coming. Big brain is here. Let's see what is going to happen. Magnus, do you really want to stop that? But if you are playing z4, you are losing the game. You are losing the game because this is going to be the long-term present. But wow, that's crazy. Computer actually likes the move. You can see the eval bar. It's all zero. So g4, Magnus might go for this. You can expect these moves from Magnus. Magnus is like so surprising. f5 just loses the pawn. No, f5 can be played. The idea is to open up the f5. Let's say white plays anything like a3, then f5. If you takes, bishop takes, then your bishop is going to be pinned. Your queen is here. It may seem white is better, but in the long run, black is going to use the f5, like knight h6, and then you have to go for bishop takes h6, bishop takes h6, but still you might be in trouble. Okay, black goes for, oh, what happened here? Let's go back one move. Knight goes back to g8, rook b1, with the idea of getting off of this diagonal and trying to go for this b4 b5 ideas. Bishop goes to h6. Okay, everybody teach us that you are never advised to trade off the dark square bishop when you have like castle and put your dark square bishop on the g7 square. But Alireza, they are of course super GM. They are allowed to break the principle of chess. You are not never play these kind of moves. When you have fianchetto your bishop on the g7 square, that bishop is going to be the integral part of your king's defense. Like it will protect these dark squares. But if you are trading that, who are going to defend these dark square weaknesses? No one. So you are never advised to trade off this bishop. They are of course the professional. Don't try this at home. You might hurt yourself. I also rejected IIT Dholakpur to play chess. F5 just Okay, let's see what is going to happen next. We have seen the trade of the bishop. Now a3 really defends the pawn on b4 here. And now it is up to Alireza. Is he going to open up the a file for his rooks? Or is he going to keep the tension? f5 happens there as well. We completely misses that. So you can see f takes e4, queen takes e4. But still that can be the dangerous thing. Magnus is allowing the f file semi-open f file for the black pieces. Let's see, let's see. Stay hydrated. I'm going to sleep. It is just win for Magnus. Let's see. Let's see if this game gets decided in Magnus' favor. We are going to stop the stream. But if it gets to the last game, then it will be even crazier. I really want Firuza to win this game. Maybe Magnus will win the last game, but still, if Firuza win this, this is going to be the epic. भाई मैं भी सेम यही ओपनिंग स्किल था बस गेम हार जाता because you don't know how to position your pieces. You really need to watch the stream of Delgil Chess. Bro, you have been talking non-stop. Drink water. I need to drink some water. But I got some water when I got a pause recently. Can you see my second game after this? Asile, it's too late. It's too late. It's almost 12 p.m. And I really need to wake up tomorrow early because tomorrow is Independence Day. So I need to get on. Will chess ever be popular like cricket and football? It is very hard, of course. It will not be popular like football or cricket, but it is getting a huge boom after COVID. डेली और हर लाइव स्ट्रीम देखता हूँ आपकी तब भी 300 ईलो पर हूँ. Oh my god. Okay, then you need to take the class. Okay, there we go. Another piece gets traded off. Now for the moment, Alireza is up a pawn. But that was just a temporary pawn sack. Knight going back to h7. Maybe knight g5 is coming, hitting the queen here. That is going to be interesting. But black position looks creepy here. King is really weak. White kings look safe. But look at this pawn chain, which is aiming towards white king. And you have always advised you have to attack on the side of the board where your pawn chain is aiming. And in this case, for Alireza, pawn chain is aiming towards white king. That means Alireza is going to attack on the king side. G5, G4 is the move as well. But if you are going too quickly for G5, then queen takes H5 is there. You need to be very, very careful. Let's see. How France is good at all sport, I don't even know. Chess is completely different. Most people don't want to see two people sit and play and in the end draw the game. Yeah, that's why they are introducing the chess into the like esports World Cup. They are making it like esports game. And again, there are only 37 like guys. Do hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream and the game. There you go. Knight g5 attacks the queen. Queen c3 is the top move, but okay, queen d3 is another good move. Just keeping an eye on the knight, connecting with the rooks, getting away now. f3, f3 is coming. Alireza, what are you thinking about? Go f3. Create some weaknesses on the king side. f3 is like no brainer. Everybody is playing f3, and Alireza goes 4. And now it is up to Magnus. What do you want to pose? Do you want to play z3? Do you want to take? Or do you want to go g4 even? All these three moves are like viable moves. Magnus can take, Magnus can go g4, Magnus can go g3. But taking the pawn is like suicidal. You can invite rook takes f3 followed by like knight takes s3. So I'm not even considering this move. And according to the computer, the best move is queen e3. Just not respond to this move. And Magnus can find that as well. Second best is g3. But I don't think you really want to weaken this pawn too early. Let's see. What's Lokaru? Do you think speed chess will take over the classical? Yeah, I really think that. Okay, Magnus goes for g3, slight inaccuracy. There we go, h4. Look at that move, man. Alireza is on fire. He's trying his best to make this king vulnerable. G takes h4, attacks the knight. Wow, where are you going to move the knight? Knight does not have a meaningful square. Magnus. Maybe knight f7 with the idea of attacking the pawn on h4 with the queen. And it will be very, very hard for Magnus to defend the pawn on h4. And then king is going to be the open. And look at the pawn controlling these two important squares. Time situation is even on the clock. Both players have almost equal time on the clock, 420 seconds. What is going to happen, guys? Again, you are not hitting that like button. Make it to the 50 like, guys. Got a gone too soon. Let's see. Knight is hanging. Alireza knight takes h3 is the only move. Rook a2. Rook a2? What the heck is this? Wow, man, computer is suggesting you can go for rook a2 even, sacrificing the knight. Queen g5 check. Wow, this is crazy. King h1 and bishop is defending g2. So there is no checkmate. But now comes rook takes f2 with the threat of rook takes f1 followed by queen g2. But now you play rook c2 here to meet this with rook defending z2 and white wins. Let's go back in the game. Alireza is still thinking. He's taking a great amount of time. Knight goes back to h7. Wow. Now Alireza is taking the pawn on h4. How are you going to defend with the white pieces? Queen c3. Going for the offense. Wow, Magnus, find this. I don't know what is the idea. What do you want to play after queen takes h4? What do you want to play queen takes h4? The pawn on d6 might fall there. Wow. Alireza again getting low on time. He's already 1 minute below of time. Magnus accumulating the pressure here. It looks like Magnus King is wide in the open, but still Alireza is the one who is feeling the heat of the game. Just play and don't hang your pieces. You will cross 300 easily. Hikaru teaches chess on Slow Karu playlist. Maggie is better than Alireza. Yes, that is of course the correct thing to say. Prajakta. Prajakta. But Alireza is beauty with brain. Wow. That is one of the beautiful definition of a grandmaster which I have ever heard of. Heard of? Okay, still 37 likes, guys. Really? Alireza with 2 minutes 20 seconds. Wow, man, this is the game. This is the game which can decide who is going to take over Dennis. Alireza, don't disrespect these players, guys. You really have to some respect. I rejected IS officer job at district Dholakpur. Wow, Alireza with only 2 minutes now. Magnus has doubles of his time. Magnus is 4 minutes on the clock. Magnus is again taking over Alireza. This is going to be the decider. I don't think that Alireza can save this, but still, Alireza is so resourceful. He's probably calculating. Can I go for? If you go for queen takes h4, you really have to calculate knight takes d6 here. Knight f7 check can be a problem for you. And let's say knight to g5 to attack this. Queen takes e5 check, and you are dead here. White is completely losing. That's why that's why Alireza is taking a huge amount of time here. If d6 fall, e5 is going to be a huge weakness, that too with check. That's why Alireza has to be careful. Now with only 120 seconds, is he going to play this move, or is he trying to bring the knight back into the game with knight g to f6 or knight h to f6? Both are completely viable move. Black, okay, rook a2, apparently a mistake. Now queen c4, queen c4. I don't know what is the idea, but he goes for rook d3. Magnus blunders. Black is back in the action. Black is the one who is better. Queen takes h4 now is the possibility. But what is the difference? What if Magnus goes for knight takes d6? Ah, you allow queen takes f2 suddenly, and queen h2 will be checkmate. Look at the job of the rook on the second rank. Wow, there we go. Rook d3 is a bad move here. Oh, he did go for Alireza. I seen his wins with 40 seconds on the clock. Magnus is going to be in trouble now. Rook takes f3, only move. Rook takes f2, counter sack. Rook takes f1, rook takes f1. Wow. Position is liquidating into like equal material. But again, Alireza with 40 seconds on the clock. This has been the problem for Alireza in this matchup. He is always getting low on time, and Magnus somehow managing himself. Now knight takes d6 is something which Alireza has to be careful of. And if it ends in a draw, then Magnus is completely winning. Alireza is out of the game. Wow, queen b6. Alireza is still better. It is minus 0.8. Wow, man, this is going to be crazy now. But will Alireza survive this game with 27 seconds on the clock? Not only he has to survive, he has to win this game if he wants to keep himself in the matchup. Magnus is leading to 3-1. That means The fifth game is very important for Alireza. Magnus just wants a draw where Alireza has to win on demand to remain in the race, guys. What do you think? What is going to happen? Queen g3, apparently a mistake. Knight g2 f6 now. Trying to activate the knight. This way g5 is another mace. I don't even know. Maybe he is trying to get rid of that attack. Queen goes back to d3. And now Magnus is only playing against Alireza clock. Magnus is not looking for the best move. He is just trying to melt down his clock. There you go. Queen back to f1 and now it is back to equality. Rook to e7. Wow, look at this. Another beautiful move, paving the way for knight to get in, and then knight d6 will be there. Like rook e7, knight c7, knight e6. If this knight lands on e6, nobody can stop Magnus from winning the game. Can he find rook e7? Magnus, 2 minutes 30 seconds, Alireza 12 seconds. There is no increment in the game. It is going to be impossible. I don't think Alireza is going to survive this. Yeah, I think he will lose the game on the clock. That has been the problem for this entire matchup for Alireza. He always gets low on time, and Magnus accumulates the pressure in the lower time as well. There we go. He's trying to repeat the position, but now it is just dead. He's basically pre-moving everything, which is like incredibly hard. There we go. Knight is landing on d6. Queen gets in. Still a draw, but draw is not enough for. Okay, there we go. Alireza Giants. Magnus won the matchup. That means we are going to watch out for Magnus versus Danish tomorrow for the finals, guys. Oh wow, what the hell of a matchup this was. Magnus showing his class at the top level and beating one of the giants of the games, Alireza Firuza, with like 4-1. Alireza was unable to have a single win where Magnus wins back to back. First two games have ended in a draw, but in the next three games, Magnus showed his class. Why he is the ultimate GOAT. That's crazy, guys. Will there be like sixth match? I don't think there is any need to go for sixth match, but still, let's see. No, there are no matchup because Magnus has already sealed the deal. Dilgil will do the robot dance for 50 likes. Bro, why you don't speak in Hindi? Because it is kind of easier to commentate the games in English, and I'm finding it is easier. And I'm also trying to get the wide audience on my channel. That's why. Can you beat Magnus? Of course, in my dreams. Who is in finals? Magnus and Dennis is in the final, guys. You are going to be watching Dennis versus Magnus tomorrow. And Hikaru versus Alireza for the third place and fourth place. That is going to be the interesting matchup tomorrow. Now you have to wait, guys. Yes, I can beat Magnus in PUBG. I'm rooting for Dennis, but let's see. Dennis भी अच्छा player, yeah. If Dennis wins, then there will be something to call for, like the new generation is taking over the last one. Magnus never defeated me. Okay, it is almost 12 p.m. guys. That's enough for today. I will be streaming tomorrow now. It was a nice stream. I played some couple of games in the bridge section as well. But most of the times we were like analyzing these games. It was like interesting matchup. Alireza versus Magnus. Always a great pleasure to watch out for this. And tomorrow is going to be Independence Day. So happy Independence Day to the all Indians here. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for your compliment. I will try to improve myself in these things as well. And if everything goes right, you might see me in commentating some of these games as well officially. So finger crossed. Let's hope for the best. And of course, if you have not subscribed to the channel, do hit the subscribe button. That will really motivate me to do a lot of things in the world of chess. I will really try my best to make an impact. And that's it. Let's call it a day. I will see everyone on the tomorrow stream, guys. And again, happy Independence Day to the all. And enjoy the time, guys. Enjoy the time. Have a good night. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe now. Any question, leave that in the comment section. Any suggestion, I will appreciate that as well. So yeah, that's it for this time. And Will Kill Chess signing off. Bye bye, guys.